Sunday is a blind, blind Sunday. Ain't got no prayers had by Sunday. It's a blind, blind day. Sunday. Sunday.
Happy Sunday morning, gearheads and goalheads.
You are watching the Blind Mike Project, a show as good as a hammer to the head.
Go to www.blindmike.net, but that would make you a total loser.
Today, we have some fun with that weasel-faced Hinchcliffe guy.
We talk about Stuttering John and Alec Baldwin, two of my favorite liberals.
We also cover that dog creeper Rob Saul, and it's goal time with Steel Toe.
And now here is your host.
Man, I call a dear friend, and Simone, I would never curb stomp.
The one, the only.
Blind Mike Geary.
You give me an extra hour to wake up, folks. I don't know if full disclosure. I'll admit this now because it's important for context. The intro has never made me laugh out loud until today.
Oh no.
Hammer to the head from Ojeda really got me. Something about mocking the man getting assaulted in a parking lot that really
Never?
took me by surprise.
What I take?
It's never hit me that hard. I'm not saying it's never made me laugh. I'm saying it's never hit me that hard. Where that was an actual laugh out loud that I got from.
Oh, nice. Well, that extra hour of sleep did us all good, I think.
Yes. So welcome.
Good morning, Blind Mike. Yes.
Good morning, buddy. No Craig today. It's Casey. So half of you will complain, and then half the people will call Craig a pedophile. It's fun, you know. But I do have good news. While there's no Craig, our boy and member of the Blind Mike Project family, officially starting this Wednesday at 7:30 a.m. Eastern, the host of Drive Time, David Collins. It's David Collins.
Right. Hello. Good morning. And that's right, Wednesday, 7:30 a.m. Eastern, Drive Time, David Collins. And I was actually hoping Craig was going to be here. I'm a little disappointed.
We all are. We're all upset. No one more than the children of New Hampshire. But we soldier on without him. And
I'm right here, David, everyone. I'm right here.
David, no, we're all there. David, you nailed it. We're all incredibly upset that Casey is here instead of Craig. But
well, not exactly. At least we get this nice in memoriam picture to look at.
Yeah, it's a real treat.
I guess
so,
you
David,
can't appreciate it.
Before we get into no, I can't. Before we get into business today, David, tell me a little more about this Drive Time David Collins. I've listened to your test shows on the David Collins 30-minute half-hour show YouTube channel.
Right.
And I hear a lot of, frankly, what I consider slander about me. Have you found the process of working with me to be tedious so far?
Well, it's ironic because that must be a similar way as I feel anytime I watch your broadcast. I say, all these people.
David sounds like
they're saying, I talked to David Collins. Nobody's calling me. They say, what is he doing? Anybody could just reach out to me at any point.
David's connection is terrible, so this is not a good sign for today's program.
Am I falling apart here?
You certainly are, buddy.
What's going on?
It's just your internet, David. You live in the cornfield. That's what's going on.
Oh, well, that's a great sign. Our connection should not be terrible.
So what can people expect for drive time, David Collins? How is it different than
something
David
happening.
Collins? Yeah, God.
Anyway, drive time, David Collins, 7:30 a.m. And we're going to be talking about election coverage on Wednesdays.
This has to be a joke, right? Like you're fucking.
What's
with
happening
me.
right now? Is something happening?
Your connection is shit.
There's a storm brewing in Indiana, wherever the fuck you live. A tornado just went over your house.
Yeah, it was fine 10 minutes ago.
Yeah, David, jump out and jump back in. Jump out and jump back in, David. I get to watch that all. I hear you too, but your internet isn't good, David. So you just jump back and jump back. No, you're not on screen, David. Quit talking. Anyway, Blind Mike, he'll be back. Jump in and out, David.
It's him fucking with us, right? Because now he's going to go on his show and say that we kicked him off and we played a prank on him.
I swear that he was here early this morning and everything was great. It was great for the first half hour we talked about.
5 minutes ago, he was perfectly fine.
His internet did go down to 1 bar, so something happened with his internet, and that's why I say move to a city. Please move to a city. And when he comes back, we'll bring him back in. And I don't think that will affect his show. He just can't apparently be guests on other shows.
Yeah, we'll try him. We'll try him again. But I do want to say, make sure Wednesday morning, 7:30 a.m. Wake up with David Collins on Drive Time David Collins. And it's a nice, smooth voice to get you to work with. And I listen to his test shows. His internet works on those shows for some reason. It's not today.
Yeah. Listen, this program is demanding. You need to have strong internet, but he was good for half an hour. And the second he starts talking, it's like...
This is twice in a row that we've had David on. We're not fucking with him.
No, here he is again. All right, David.
All right. Let's give this a try, David. It doesn't set not a good start.
It is not starting strong. Hold on, David. Let's take a breath. And now, go ahead and talk. Oh, it's 1 bar. God damn it. They're just staring at me. Talk, David.
David.
I'm breathing. That's certainly the case.
Hey.
Is everything okay?
Yeah, your connection sucks, buddy.
Yeah. We need to call Spectrum and get you a T1 line out there or something. Maybe call Elon Musk.
What do you
some
mean?
of that satellite internet.
What, David? What do you think I mean? Your connection is bad.
Is this another one of your pranks?
Go back and watch it. You'll see what I mean. Your connection is shit.
Since when? This is the best connection in town. There's storms outside. Maybe that's
all right, David. Going. Just
on, but
David, I'm going to give you an
this wasn't
assignment
the case.
here.
We did 30 minutes of check.
Can you even hear me?
Before this, everything was
not really, but go ahead.
Fine,
this is amazing.
David, what I'm going to tell you to do, I'm going to have you talk for 30 seconds. And then when we kick you off, go back and listen to this part of the show so you know I'm not fucking with you. Now go ahead, respond for 30 seconds. I mean, all right. All right.
Matt, what do you feel here?
All right.
We're trying.
I've seen 1 bar, Mike. I've never seen an exclamation point with a red on it.
Who is that? Can you hear Matt's okay?
Who was that other voice?
I've heard that this is actually a show. A lot of people watch.
David, I got to kick you again, David. I'm sorry.
Sorry, Dave. Who was the man I could hear perfectly?
That was Matt.
Who the hell's Matt?
One of his co-hosts.
Oh, okay. Oh, I know that guy. Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Matt, they both sounded good.
He sounded perfect.
Yeah. That.
Well, now David's gonna accuse me of pranking him.
He's pranking us. I swear to God, that has to be him pranking us because his internet was 5. If so, David, bravo.
And he keeps saying, I don't know what's going on. He's like, why? What do you mean? What do you think I mean? Your connection is shit.
Yes,
I'm not being vague about it.
Yes, he turns very dumb at the time it happens, very conveniently. I like it.
David, I'm sorry to make you wake up and get on here, but now he's gonna say I drove all the way back to Waterloo or wherever the hell he was.
Or he's gonna show up every 15 minutes behind the scenes, just like bubbling in with no internet.
If he shows up later, we'll give him a break.
Yeah,
we'll talk about Stuttering John without him, and then we'll give it another try after Stuttering John. How's that?
Yeah, power down the modem, David, and power down everything and power it back up, and we'll give it another try.
Yeah, because I know David has never heard of Stuttering John, so we
No.
we could talk about Stuttering John without him and then bring David back. But yeah, Wednesday morning on this very channel. So make sure you subscribed and tap that notification bell so you know exactly when David goes live on Wednesdays. And as my friend Aaron Imholt says, we should have a couple hundred likes on this by the time we're done streaming because there's hundreds of people in this chat. So make sure you smash that like button, baby, because everyone that's watching has to be a fan in the Imholt world. And I apply the same logic here. So like, subscribe, and you can become a member on Patreon or YouTube for as little as $5 a month. Become a member, get bonus content and early access. You can get Why You Laughing's a week early. The most recent one we did is Cat Williams. That'll be available for everyone on YouTube Wednesday night after Drive Time David Collins. But if you're a member on Patreon or YouTube, you could already be watching it if you'd like. So consider becoming a gearhead on Patreon or YouTube. BlindMike.net is the easiest place to find all these links. Subscribe wherever you get podcasts. And if you're watching on YouTube, if you watch live, join the chat, like, comment, subscribe. All that helps more people find the show. So go to blindmike.net, figure out all our links, and we appreciate it. HackRideTheDemon.com as well for these two knuckleheads, Electra and Casey Day.
Yeah, well, yeah, check them out. Blind Mike, we have a lot of great subjects today, but I think we got
enough nonsense. I've wasted enough time here. Let's get into it. I want to talk about Stuttering John because what's going on with Stuttering John is it's what's annoying to me about John's show and the Dabbleverse and whatever. Like, I don't understand the Shuli thing. So I guess Shuli and Anthony Cumia pranked Stuttering John. There's this weird thing now where everything is a victory or a loss for someone. It's like, I guess Anthony Cumia texted John and said, I have a bunch of dirt on Shuli. John went on his show and called Anthony a hero. Like, overreacted. He's like, Anthony's a bit of a hero. Even he saw the terrible ways of the dues payer. So John was like citing that as a reason Shuli's a terrible guy. It turns out it was a work. Now, from both perspectives, this wasn't that big a deal, really. Like, Shuli's taking this huge victory lap, like he tricked John into becoming friends with Anthony. That didn't really happen. John was too lazy to follow up on it. And John and Vince do this thing where, like, now it actually means that Shuli is a pedophile because he's friends with Anthony, who's also a pedophile. There's too much extreme reactions on either side. I like to remember when John was just a douchebag that we played clips of and laughed at. I don't need to get involved. Like, really what happened is Anthony told John he wasn't doing Shuli's show anymore. John said, hey, Anthony's not doing that show anymore. And they're like, haha, he really is doing the show. So it's not that great a prank. There wasn't much of a payoff, but it's also not that big a deal. Like, can John ever fucking laugh at himself? So all I wanted to do today was just pull clips that remind everyone of why we laugh at John. It's not tricking him into our world to interact. He's an asshole on his own. So I will say this is really what Shuli's prank did. There was no real payoff, but all it did was lead to people typing L in John's chat, telling him he lost.
Yeah, it's called L's.
For some reason, that makes John really upset. And as we always say, the best thing to do on the internet when something gets to you, when someone hits your sensitivities, have an extreme reaction to let them know that they're bothering you, as John does here.
Oh, the children are in the room with the L's. They trying to hurt Johnny. The children are here. Oh, God. It's amazing, isn't it? Don't they know it's just one button away from fucking getting rid of these adults?
Yes, they're trying to get you to do that, John. You're telling them they've won when you do that.
Okay.
How has he not learned this? It's mystifying.
His mind's an Etch-a-Sketch, Mike. Every day it wakes up fresh. new friends, new drawings.
That really is a perfect way to where it's every day is the same shit to the point where, like, I'm legitimately looking for new goofballs to talk about because I'm not going to make any declarative statements like I did last year. I was like, I'm done with John. I'll never talk about him again because I was having the same feeling that I'm having now, where it's like it's just Groundhog Day. It feels like every day is the same. There are certain things that make me laugh, and maybe frankly, I take my job too seriously. I work too darn hard because what I've done, and Carl made fun of me for this the other night when I mentioned it. I've been watching John's full shows. I do too much prep work on this guy. so I watch so fucking much of him to find clips. I never did that before. That's not what I did when I discovered John. I would hear the clips on Carl's show and be like, oh, I got to look more into this, you know? Now I watch hours of this fucking guy, and it's so exhausting to hear him over and over talk about how Shuli has beaten him. And I got to say, like, I don't know how much Shuli does of this. You might know better than me, Casey. Like, for Shuli to say he's beaten John, neither of them, they both exist because of each other. They make a living. Like, people donate to their chats because of each other. Shuli makes a living because he does a show talking about John. John makes a living because he does a show where people will pay him to rile him up about the dues payer and Lady K and Vince and all these people. Like, Carl's show is about so much other shit that I could like, I think Tukey could talk about a lot of different shit if he wanted to. I don't know how much he does of it. But, like, a lot of these guys could talk about other stuff. John and Shuli exist to feed off of each other. They need each other. So to act like either of them is beating the other is just, it's not true. It's silly to act like, oh, today we won and John lost, or today John won and Shuli lost. It's never happened. Just every day they get on and it riles people up in the chat to be like, hey, Shuli beat you. Hey, John got one over on you guys. It's never happened. It's the same every fucking day. But the only enjoyment that people should be getting out of it is this, watching this idiot look at his chat and go, oh, you all told me I lost? I'll block you. He's accusing them of being children when he's like, well, then I'll take my toys and go home. You can't even play with them anymore.
I think like this happens in a lot in nature where parasitic relationships turn into like symbiotic relationships where like, you know, the ants protect the tree. So then 1,000 years, the ants in the tree are like, you know, basically, not separable. The ants only eat the bark of the tree, etc. That's these environments. They need each other. I mean, if either of them went away, the other one would not sustain. Right. So.
Right. And it's something John says a lot. I'm sure he would say it about me if it got brought up. I know he says it about Carl, whatever. But, like, I do a show with Carl where we don't talk about John. We talk about other stuff. Plenty of people watch and seem to enjoy it. His show is not like they talk about John probably on every episode at this point. Who are these podcasts? But it's a segment of a larger show, you know? The same with us. We talk about John most weeks, but it's a segment of a larger show. Shuli, the whole show is talking about John, right? I don't watch it. I'm not even. This is not me shitting on him. People want me to shit on him more, I guess. But like, I'm literally
Uncle Rico. Yeah, Uncle Rico is specifically about.
Does he do shows that don't talk about John?
Oh yeah, they do.
Oh,
they're trying to vary up more and stuff like that. They do a show called like where they go into smaller shows with their audience and stuff. Yeah, they're branching out and doing stuff. I mean,
I don't know that, but
yeah, no, I mean, but did they just do John specific stuff for like a very long time? Yes, you know, and so I think it's hard to once you're in that bucket to sort of move once you're that deep in the bucket and you have that symbiotic relationship because then. Let's be honest. Anyone that has John on, you know, the numbers go up. He's sugar, right? So you can't live just on sugar in your diet, but you can have a little bit of sugar in your diet. And so if you have too much of sugar in your diet, then I think you don't really have content that is other than John. But you have you eat meat, you eat steak, brother. You just eat a candy bar here and there.
It gets frustrating to me because there's so much to make fun of with John, but they're like, hey, you know how Anthony told you Anthony wasn't doing Shuli's show anymore? You believe that, you idiot? It's like that's where it's like, well, what are we even doing here? John believed something that you told him So he's an idiot. Like, we're gonna take a victory lap for that. I didn't understand it. It would be like if Casey said, like, "Hey, man, I can't do your show anymore," and then I came on here next week with Craig, and I was like, "Hey, it's been a pleasure. Casey Day's done a lot for the show, but I guess he can't do the show anymore." And then I see Casey on Twitter going, "Look at this idiot. He believed something I told him. He took me at face value. What a loser. What a creep." It's like, I don't get what the joke is, really. You know what I mean?
I do the Costanza thing where I just show up the next day after I say I quit, like nothing happened. What was that?
I do get that the idea was for John to befriend Anthony now. And I know there are a couple of clips. He's like, well, it turns out Anthony's a hero in all of this. The payoff would have been like if John started inviting Anthony on his show or speaking highly of him. Like, John stopped shitting on Anthony, which does prove he doesn't give a fuck about Anthony being a racist or a pedophile or any of this other stuff. John's about John. But we already knew that. Like, I don't get what that proves, really. If there was a greater payoff, like, it would have been funny if one by one people just started leaving Shuli, which seems like, I guess, what they're trying to do with Bob also leaving. But, like, if one by one people left and then John took his victory lap and then all of a sudden Shuli was like, "No, we were fucking with you, man." That could be funny, but there just wasn't much of a payoff to call this a win or a loss. But as always, the real winners here are the chat that took advantage of it. So let's get back to that. Because listen to how long John deals with people simply writing a letter. He's now taking on the alphabet, as I believe, I think I heard producer Chris say that the other day. But he's now taking on letters. He's angry at letters now.
He's on. He's just not talking.
There we go. Goodbye, Chris Hall. Goodbye, Booster TK. Goodbye, I'm with Stupid. Goodbye, Mecky the Gracious.
John, you're getting rid of everyone.
Goodbye forever, Tim Dransky.
Guys, do me a favor right now. Everyone that is hearing my voice right now, type an L in the chat. Call me a loser. I'll never know about it. Now, I have the luxury, it's a real benefit of not being able to see. So I guess that's part of it. But John, if you don't like what they're typing in the chat, don't fucking read it. Maybe don't do a show that hinges entirely on you reading the chat and talk about something else instead of doing this for 25 minutes.
The amount of L's in the chat is mind-boggling right now. God damn.
No! Ban them! ELECTRA! Get rid of them!
There's too many. I can't.
Goodbye. Goodbye, Detroit Dabbler. Let's see who else we got. Goodbye, Lucifer.
It's how long this goes.
Alrighty. Okay.
John, you've lost. Like, whenever you think of the prank that Shuli pulled off, if you think it was hilarious, if you think if it was dog shit, whatever you think of it, he did this to your show, John. So you did lose. You allowed him to take up 20 minutes of fucking airtime with you going, let's see, Lucifer, you're blocked. Dave Daffler, you're blocked. That's not a show. I know you compare yourself to Howard Stern all the time. It was, I think as a Howard Stern fan, Casey, this will really annoy you. I was watching him the other day and he was listening to an old Stern clip. And it was, I guess John once said he could make an arena football league team or something. And they're goofing on him, and they had some tight end, Mario Battaglia, who was going to race John in a 40-yard dash or something. I don't know. And so John watches it, and he goes, "Look at the brilliance the Duke created." And it's like, no. Howard did this. If you were sick that day, or you were hit by a bus, Howard would have found some other idiot to goof on. He would have made fun of Baba Booey, or they would have had Beetlejuice on, or whatever the fuck it would have been that day. They would have talked about the news. Howard would have filled that time with some other chunk. So you didn't do anything. You were a pawn for Howard to use as he pleased. So learn something from Howard and fill fucking airtime. Don't be like, well, sometimes Howard would pause and take break. There was a method to his madness, John. Come up with a method.
All righty. Whatever. Anyway, how y'all doing today?
He hadn't started the show yet. That's his hello to the audience after blocking half of them. And
Why am I spending any time doing intros or anything? You just burp and start a show.
But how? Like, who does John think he's talking to? Like, who is the rest of the chat? Does John believe that there are people that think highly of him? Like, oh, well, I blocked all the people that type L's, so now we're safe. Now we have all the big fans of the Stuttering John podcast. The
Legend is still here.
The closest thing that John has to fans, and you see it with like Clay Dabbler, I think, where what John has is people who hate Shuli so much that they've just settled for liking John. I don't think they think John's a great broadcaster or puts on a classic show. I don't think in years to come, people will be going to find old Stuttering John segments, you know? Like, oh, I really need to, that classic day that John drank a fucking Red Bull for 30 seconds on air. Like, there are no bits that John does that are entertaining. It's the people that comment on him that make him entertaining. So John thinks he blocked like all the trolls and now it's just fans left. But no, it's people that will come up with other ways to goof on you. Even, I'm sure Robert Myers will eventually reveal himself and all these people. Like that, it's frustrating because it feels like, you know, I think you could probably hear it in my voice where I'm angry, which is the crazy thing. It's affected me. I'm part of the problem here. I fully admit that.
It really does, like, it changes your standard of ethics or challenges them. It's a mind fuck. There should be college classes just about the psychology of it, not the man, but what it does to other men.
Yes.
And let's see. Goodbye. This is going to be a great one. Adios. Good gear, you penis wrinkle.
Boy, that really was great. You can hear the cheers cascading around America. He did it! Fine, yes, finally. It was perfect timing too, because it's right as the nation was healing after Tony Hinchcliffe stabbed us all right in the heart. We could finally take some solace in the fact that Penis Wrinkle was blocked.
Penis Wrinkle said in chat that he is unblocked now, though. Already.
Of course he is, because John needs your money. Penis Wrinkle, I think you do good work, but John doesn't really give a fuck at the end of the day. Like, he wants you in there because you pay him. I'll never say, like, don't give John money if you want. I don't give a fuck. But it is like, I think certain things John has said over the years does reveal, while I think a lot of this stuff bothers him, nothing bothers him as much as he enjoys you throwing money at him. Does that make sense? Like,
It does.
Nothing gets to, you can make fun of his kids, you can call him a has-been, and some of that will hurt him, but it doesn't hurt him as much as you throwing him $2 to call him a drunk loser heals him.
Yes. This has been VTL's strategy from day one, I think. Just insult and pay. Insult and pay.
Yeah, Vince is. I don't like everything Vince does, but he's smart the way he handles John, because he knows how to pull his puppet strings. Literally, I heard John playing this the other. He was on his boat yesterday. Did you see that? He's got a new boat.
I've heard about it. I have not seen a picture or anything.
Well, that's the other thing, is like, people are instantly like, it's not his boat. Hey, it'll all reveal itself. Don't get so worked up. I'm sure we'll find out it's not John's boat or there's some scam. But for now, just say, hey, John, good for you. You got a boat. You'll probably sink it or get lost.
Oh, I can't wait for that.
Or he'll
Mayday,
get pulled
mayday.
over for drunk boating.
Yes,
You know.
something will happen. Let's
Bound
just
to.
let's just
Feel
lean
kinda
back and
wild.
let it happen. You know,
Yes.
we don't have to call John as a fake boat repairman. We don't have to
Yes.
prank the guy. He'll do it on his own.
Mike, can't you just hear it? It doesn't count if it's on the water. Like people in the chat making fun of his DUI. Like he's
right. Never on land. Never been pulled over on land. But John played a clip in that 20-minute thing he did, and I got to play this clip from Vince the lawyer. I don't know. Vince claims I got to ask Rocco Tukey. I got to ask Tukey if he's actually editing these. Vince claims Tukey is putting these together. Seems like, based on what I've seen Tukey's technical know-how to be, seems like maybe there's someone else. I'm not sure. But Vince keeps sending these videos, and it's like, it's Shuli saying, something about kids, and then they do like the evil, they enhance kids and make it the HACKRIDE voice, basically. Like it's this evil demon now, and like they vilify him in this trailer. And then John goes, see what I mean? And it's like, well, no, Vince edited that to get you to do all that. Like he's pulling your puppet strings. Like John is, again, I think that's where Vince is smart. John is, again, a whack packer. It's just a less funny guy than Howard controlling him. But that is interesting. I am intrigued by what Vince will do with that.
And Mike, just to let you know, we do have David Collins back, and he has that full internet. So anytime you want to bring him back, just let me know.
All right. I say we'll give it a try. We're about David?
David? Hold on. David.
This guy really should have sold this company. I'm not sure what's going on here, but I really blame him. Really. He should have taken the deal while he had it, because we run these internet tests. I'm getting 200 over 80.
No one knows what that means, but that's hilarious. That's for maybe 3 people out there. But yes, if the guy is walking.
I guess we weren't nothing that we talked about was broadcast because we had these issues as soon as we were live. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Welcome back.
You sound good now, David. You want to continue?
Oh, well, that's good. We'll be happy to be here for 10 minutes until this comes up again, but that's great. 7:30 a.m. Eastern, drive time, David Collins, election coverage the day after the election. We're going to be doing some live street interviews. Anyway, we're talking about Stuttering John Melendez, the Duke. I think he looks better every time I see him. He's really lost some weight.
What a pro. Thank you, David, for segueing right back in. Yeah, sorry. Let's get back to Stuttering John.
Couldn't have happened to a nicer guy.
Thank you, John.
Goodbye, Chip Tooth Tony.
He's still going with this.
And let's see, who else can we get rid of?
Let's see who else we can get rid of the only people supporting me in the world. like John's family. John's literally sitting alone in a house in Florida. And he's like, let's see who else we can get rid of. Like these are his, when he talks about his friends, he talks about Robert Myers and Clay Dabbler and The Legend and these people that he's met online. So essentially John is like, let's see what potential friends I can get rid of. That's all he has.
Hi, the secret squirrel. And who else can we get rid of here? Goodbye, St. Patrick's. Goodbye, Jeff. Goodbye, Too Short, Long
John, just let Clay Dabbler do this for you. That was the point of having a moderator. Just let someone do this and do a fucking show. Listen to how long it's taking.
This is the
Now, boy.
Uh-oh.
Gagia, double dabble. Goodbye, Gilman. Let's see.
Yeah, good, John. Keep looking
Goodbye.
for more people to block.
Beer boards and tables. Goodbye, Paolo.
Oh, it's a spree.
And one more. Goodbye, Debbie Dupet lady. And that's it.
Finally, the chat is pure and cleansed.
It's much like the Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was just gonna say that now the good news is no one was left in the chat to make fun of John. Now the situation has been remedied. Luckily, no one will make fun of him anymore.
I was gonna say it reminded me of the end of Pink Floyd's The Wall. Get that one up against the wall. Are there any?
And there we go. All the children are now out of the room. Got rid of all the riffraff, all of the fucking losers. Let's go.
Not all of them.
Again, children though, like John, think of the stuff the show you were on did. Like, think of the shit that Howard Stern was doing. Comedy at its core is childish. You know, like trying to make people laugh, especially over silly shit like John does. Like, that's childish. John, you were an adult when you went up to fucking Ted Williams and asked if he's ever farted in the catcher's face. Do you not think that's childish? But like for some reason he puts a premium on that, and then when people fuck with him, oh, look at the children. Where this would all be solved. I think that's what frustrates me about John is like this would all be solved if you just had a laugh at it. Like, or didn't obsess over it the way he did. Like every time we talked about it, was it? I think it was Rob Saul that said like we were Shuli fans.
Oh yes, ball watchers.
Yeah, that's just it's not correct. So I mentioned it, and I was like, well, that's not true. If I were John, I would have spent 45 minutes and go, oh, really? Really, Rob? Really? Let me play this clip. And then it's a clip of me like being lukewarm on Shuli. Oh, there's no beating this, Rob. You cannot beat this. We get it with like for some reason. Because I don't shit on Kreischer like hard enough. Like we've played clips of Bert Kreischer where we goof on him, but then every once in a while I'm like, I don't hate Bert Kreischer. I don't think he's like untalented. I think there are things that have made me laugh. People extrapolate that and go, Mike loves Bert Kreischer, and I'll never trust this man again. I could spend 40 minutes debunking that if I wanted to, but it doesn't make any sense. It's just one guy. Like who gives a fuck, John?
The next one here is Guess That Ass.
Oh, so then now we're getting back to what I've always enjoyed about John. From the moment I was introduced to the fact that he had a podcast on WATP many years ago. This is vintage John here, where he has Brian Karem on, and the chat is asking him something. And John, who, by the way, has met this person before, has no idea what he's looking at, just puts anything up and reads it, doesn't give a fuck. This is a Mensa mind who has just no clues, completely out to lunch, has no idea what the fuck is going on. But let's see when someone asks John about a certain woman in a photograph.
Helene Lafour.
Let me see that.
Recently sings, Stuttering John, be honest, rank looks from 1 to 10. Me? I'm about a 7.5.
Let's just dump that one. That's a picture of my wife.
Oh.
Oh, it's funny on so many levels.
Gives her a 7.5.
No, he gives himself. Mike, he goes, me? What do you rate? Me? It can never be about anyone but himself. Like, you got to listen to that again. He's rating himself.
Stuttering John, be honest, rank looks from 1 to 10. Me? I'm about a 7.5.
Oh, you're right.
I
thought he was saying, like, you want...
That's why this thing is like Monty Python, the levels here. The levels
He
of
doesn't even
comedy.
recognize there's a woman in the picture. And by the way, you hear Brian Karem at the beginning of that go, hold on, let me see that. John blows right by him. Doesn't even acknowledge he's speaking. Like, it is so incredibly rude to his guests that anytime they talk, he is just focused on that chat. Doesn't acknowledge they exist. If he's reading that chat, they could say anything. Brian Karem could have screamed out the N-word if he wanted to, could have threatened John's children, whatever he wanted to do, he could have done in that moment because John is fixated on that chat. There's no shaking him. He's Tom Brady in the fourth quarter when money is being donated and he has to read some super chats.
Like, think about when you're writing this super chat, you're like, oh, he's probably going to say like 4 or 5, and then he's going to go, that's my wife you just called him 4 or 5. You could never anticipate that he's going to make it about himself.
He's going to rate himself.
Yes.
Stuttering John.
I will say, the sickness in me is that I wish you ranked the wife. I don't know. She's a dog.
Can we also talk about he ranked himself a 7.5? What? Like, there's so many levels to this. He's
a very handsome
I'm a
man.
7.
So David just resigned. Did he just disappear?
Yeah, he just said a show and then cut out. So he hasn't come back.
Wednesday morning, David Collins, Drive Time David Collins on this network. So subscribe, tap the bell so you know exactly when he's going live.
Rank looks from 1 to 10. Me? I'm about a 7.5.
Let's just dump that one. That's a picture of my wife.
Oh, sorry.
That's all right. That's her and us. And someone's deep trolling you there.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
I'll get rid of
Wow.
that.
It's very deep, Brian. They sent him a picture of you. They sent him a picture of you and your wife. How deep? Someone's deep trolling you there.
Yeah.
Let
Thank
me.
you for the $2. You're gone.
Yep. I disavow anybody for posting any family members here. Snub. John, is it too late for you to be aborted? Yes, I think so.
And then here's what's great about that: when he has Karam and Ojeda on, here's what's great is that John gets that super chat, just a guy fucking with him. That guy doesn't care about politics. And then Brian Karam goes, "Oh, that's one of these Republicans." He thinks this is a Republican belief. He goes, "That's one of these Republicans that thinks you can just abort a baby after 9 months." And it's like, no. They're saying John at 60 years old should end his life. That's what they're saying. You don't understand, Brian. This is not a political issue. These people are here to mess with one man and one man only. It's not your right to an abortion or anything like that. It's not a woman's right to choose. It's about John.
That confusion's great, though. I love that.
They are bad. Like Brian Karam and Richard Ojeda are constantly. It's interesting to be involved in that stuff so much. Like they're on every week. And every week they go, "Man, it's crazy, John. You have these people trolling you for no reason. That's wild." It's fascinating to me. And I guess the answer is they both have lives and families and other interests, which is nice. But like to never look into it and think like, well, what is this stuff around John? That is kind of fascinating to me. It's nice ignorance to live in. Like if I was going on Who Are These Socials every week and people were saying like wild shit about Carl constantly, I think eventually I'd be like, let me look into some of this. Like I gotta see what they're talking. Why are they calling him a deadbeat? And why are they saying you should be in jail? What is this?
Next one's called Good Guy.
Well, you see the genuine empathy that John holds inside him. He'll talk. We'll hear later. This is a man who talks about he's for love. He's not for hate or any of that stuff. This is a man with a heart 10 sizes too big. He just cares. Really, his only flaw, if John had to name his flaw, would be that he cares too much. It's a goddamn shame that he has to deal with that. And this is a guy who clearly is concerned about his friend who's going through something, a panic of some kind here.
Clark Gable's flagging erection. Thanks for $5. But Brian, I'm just busting your chops. I think you're a funny, cool dude.
Peace. It's all good.
This guy's actually a good guy. I happen to know who he is, and he's.
Oh, I'm wrong. I got a clip ahead of myself. We're gonna hear John empathize with Brian in a moment. This is him referring to Clark Gable's. Is it supposed to be fledgling erection or flagging erection? Either way,
It's flagging, but I have no idea.
Clark Gable's flagging erection. Hey, Brian, he's actually a pretty good guy. This is a good. Go back a little because I want to hear you. I want to hear how John thinks of these people on the internet. Mind you, the bad guys he spent 40 minutes blocking. So he's done a lot of research into who's a good guy and who's a bad guy. Clark Gable's flagging erection, good guy.
Clark Gable's flagging erection. Thanks for $5. But Brian, I'm just busting your chops. I think you're a funny, cool dude.
Peace. It's all good.
This guy's actually a good guy. I happen to know who he is, and he's well. At least I know what his fake name is, and he's pretty cool.
What does that mean? So he knows his fake name is Clark Gable? Does John think he's talking to star of stage and screen Clark Gable?
Possibly. Or his erection, at least.
I know what his fake name is.
Anybody with a flagging erection, I am telling you, that's a tough room, you know?
Oh, and then you get into
Everybody-
the wit of Brian Karam. So appropriate there to go into a Rodney Dangerfield impression. We were all thinking a moment ago, Mike, shut up. There's probably about to be a Rodney Dangerfield impression coming up. It was such perfect timing for it.
But he has these fake names, Brian. It's hard to keep track.
Yes. This was the craziest clip you sent me. on
Yeah,
this
so
one.
this is what I was talking about a minute ago. What I thought the last clip was. This is John showing true empathy. It seems like who knows what happens. Brian Karam, there's an emergency at the Karam house. It seems of epic proportions, and this is how John handles it.
I may or may have not added some sound Foley because it needed it.
Okay, good.
Johnny Russo, thanks for the $5. Halpin says,
Hold on. I got a problem here.
"Uh-oh. Oh, no.
Uh-oh.
Oh, no. I hope something's okay. I hope nothing's bad happened."
This is where moments like this is like where should we even be making fun of this guy? He's like a mentally handicapped guy. Listen to this moron. Like, I don't think he's fit to take care of himself. When you listen to that sentence, functional adults don't talk like that. I hope Sutton's okay. I hope Sutton's okay. What does that mean? Go back. I need to hear this dolt again. This is where I have empathy for John and think like maybe we shouldn't be making fun of this man at all.
I got to see Karam run out of the room.
Johnny Russo, thanks for the $5. Halpin says,
Hold on. I got a problem here.
"Uh-oh. Oh, no. Oh, no. I hope something's
Oh, I
okay."
didn't hear that before. I heard
Uh-oh.
Okay.
I heard
That's a
some
t-shirt.
I heard some noises added there that I didn't pick up on the first time.
I hope something okay. Shirts available at Blind Mike's store. I hope something okay.
Wait, let me hear it again. This might be outro worthy. I got to hear it again.
I hope something okay.
Says,
Hold on. I got a problem here.
"Uh-oh. Oh, no. Oh, no. I hope something's okay. I hope nothing's bad happened."
Yeah. Send that to Craig. Send that to Craig. Put it in the outro.
He went full crazy Alice there at the end. I hope nothing bad happens.
I hope Sutton's okay.
Yeah, one more. Can we do that one more time? I got to hear it one more time.
Yeah.
"Oh, no. Oh, no. I hope something's okay. I hope nothing's bad happened." But that did not seem good. So let's see what is going on.
It's very quiet, but I'm hearing the noises you added.
It makes more sense.
It really adds to the experience.
Let's hope it's nothing serious.
All right. Well,
Jesus,
John,
that
it seems like your friend Brian Karam, who like you've gone out with, you know his wife apparently. You couldn't identify a photo of her, but you've dined with her. Like this is a buddy of yours. He does your show every week. Asks for nothing in return. This is a good friend. Let's see how John responded. What seems to be like it seems like his wife is getting raped in the other room. Like, he goes, "Oh God!" Brian Karam had a reaction I've never seen on a live podcast. Oh no! Hold on! No! And he runs away. And this is how John improvises during this time.
Now I'm concerned.
Yeah, I would be, John. Sounds like a lot of concern in his voice. Hold on. I want to hear that again. This is a man who said he's very concerned. Here's the sequence of events. If you're joining us live, here's what you've missed. Let me catch you up. They're doing a podcast. Brian Karam looks off into the distance and goes, "Oh God, no!" and runs away. And now this is John's reaction to what just happened.
It's the new Swordfish. It's the same thing, but it's different.
I'm imagining people in downtown Manhattan on September 11th, 2001. Oh, smoky outside. Oh, well, whatever. bang the fucking keyboard with his giant fingers.
So we're about to experience now an epic, just 37 seconds. I even put a timer up of just nothingness before it sits there in silence.
What do you think he's doing? Like, what's going through his mind right now?
Maybe he's emailing Brian like, everything okay over there? It's not bad, right? It's good. I don't know, but he just stares at the screen.
Is someone Chris Benoiting your entire family?
I think he's thinking that he's maybe almost out of beer and he needs to go get more. Like,
the clock's running right now. We're watching. He ain't saying nothing.
It's a shame Brian ran away because I could get up and get a Michelob.
Gotta lick these lips a little more. A little dry. That's all that's going on right now. It's going, Mike. It's going. We're down to 15 seconds.
We just talked for so long. Look at how many words we packed into this silence.
Like a whole show. Oh, there's the siren again. Karen's back.
This is Nikki Haley sticking to her statements that Donald Trump is unstable.
Good. It's important, John. So, no. You thought maybe he was emailing Brian Karam and saying, I hope everything's okay. You're incorrect. He was like, oh, what's the thing Brian mentioned earlier that I can pull up to kill some time? Oh, Nikki Haley.
It only took me a minute to pull up. Whew,
this is a guy, and sure, people could call me clinically insane for watching one of John's political shows, but you get little nuggets out of it. I think it's important. This is a guy who does a political show every week, used to do it every day. He fancies himself a real mind for politics. And this is a guy who listened to Brian Karam say. Brian Karam said that take away what you believe in this. Just to take the words I'm saying and not the meaning behind it. But Brian Karam said this could be a real watershed election for the Democrats. And John goes, I got to stop you right there, Brian. What's watershed? I never heard that word before.
What?
But even, John, if you've never heard it, from context, you can gauge what it means. It meant like a historic election. John's like, I got to stop you there, Brian. I don't understand what you're talking about. It's so fascinating to watch him. Like, Brian Karam's a nut. He's a complete shill for the liberals. But take that aside, he's at least like, he's in press rooms and like he's a legitimate journalist, whatever that means these days. And he has to every week go on and have a discussion with a complete water-brained moron who can't put a sentence together when he's on the screen alone. It's maddening.
Did you watch the whole thing? Is Brian Karam living? Is he still with us? What happened?
He passed away, unfortunately.
Oh, no.
He was one of 11 victims.
Anyway, Nikki Haley, we lost Brian.
I just got reminded of this. That's another swordfish moment.
That's what I just said. It's the new swordfish. It's the same but different. No, it's the same, exactly the same. Like, imagine like the end of the world comes. Like, you got to do something Stuttering Johnny. You got to like scratch your balls and look at the comet coming at you. It's a whole way of life, Mike.
John's got to be put in every historic event. Like he's in Hitler's bunker. Like, just see the Three Stooges.
You got good cars over here.
His ability, I know my ability to read a room has been put into question. He is incapable of reading a situation.
That's fucking
so to put everyone's mind at ease, Brian Karam's dogs attacked the gardener. So the gardener I believe is missing from the knee down.
Amazing.
So, yeah, that's fucking hilarious. I do have one more here that's from Stuttering John called John Stands. It was from a different.
Yes.
Okay.
So this is John addressing all the injustice that's been going on. Like I said, the way to handle, if you don't think Shuli's prank with Anthony was funny or whatever, the way to handle it would be like, even I was probably too dramatic about it in responding a couple minutes ago. Like, the way to handle it would be play a video and goof on him if you'd like. This is how John responds to every what he feels injustice that crosses his desk, where he's like, I have to put on. It's never worked before. It's never convinced anybody, and yet he always does this melodramatic speech about what a great man he is and how horrible everyone around him is.
These guys are so fucking lame. Do you got? I mean, put it this way: they tell people to write L's in my chat, and they tell people to not send me money and all of this nonsense, not super chat me. But keep one thing in mind: when you super chat me,
hold on, that's all he cares about. By the way, he's about to tell you the reasons that you should support John over Shuli. All he cares about is that you super chat him. He doesn't give a fuck about all this other stuff. He's about to list off the litany of crimes and horrific moral decisions that these people have made. And really what he's saying is, why don't you guys super chat me and type L's in their chat? That would be great. So like when it's happening to him, it's this grave injustice. But if it was happening in the reverse, it would be tremendous. What a glorious day that would be.
I think there's a word for that, Mike. We have to put it on a T-shirt and send him 2 of them. Hypocrisy.
I like two of every T-shirt, just in case.
Super chatting somebody who stands for a lot of things. I stand for women's rights, especially women's reproductive rights. I stand for the LGBTQ plus community.
Hold on a second. I stand for women's rights, especially reproductive rights. I'm kind of lukewarm on them being able to vote and work. Like that stuff I don't really give a fuck about.
I focus on their pussies.
I mostly stand for their reproductive. Yeah. I focus on their snatch mainly. What's between their legs? Their other rights, whatever. You want to take them away? You want to give them to them? Who am I to judge?
I stand for what's good in this world. I stand for democracy. I stand for love, peace, and harmony.
It's funny that he's literally sitting. But where do you stand for any of these things, John? When have you championed democracy? What are you talking about?
Love, peace, and harmony.
Every day he goes on his show and talks about people he hates. I stand for love. It would be like if I said, I stand for never making fun of anyone. I stand for not pulling clips and taking them out of context. That's what I stand for.
You stand for 20/20 vision, Mike.
Yes, I actually do. But
what I don't stand for is bullying and cyber harassment, which
now,
is what the...
Let me give you Penis Wrinkle's real name. What I've never stood for is cyberbullying and harassment. Anyways, Penis Wrinkle is a man named Stuart, and he lives in California. If you'd like to contact his employers, please do.
I've never harassed anyone. I have just stood outside of other content creators' houses with a stereo.
Yes.
I was playing the music. That is not harassment.
No bullying, harassment. I did scream "Fatty Patty" outside of a man's house, but I would never bully someone or harass them.
The shitware and his fucking...
Hold on a second, though. As we're laughing at this, it is very funny. I've heard people play clips of me and goof on them. I've been in the room sometimes. I don't know if anyone that watches the Kirk Minahan show knows this. Sometimes I've been poked fun at before. The response is to laugh, because sometimes you can see, you're like, ah, shit, that's a good point. They're making a good point by making fun of me. They're bringing something up that I also kind of find funny now that I'm realizing it about myself. John, just do that once. Like, just go like, oh yeah, they got me. That's the way he's let Shuli win in this, because like I said, I didn't think it was the greatest prank of all time by any means. But John allows Shuli to win by giving this speech. This gives them content. If John just went like, oh shit, yeah, I actually kind of believed Anthony was leaving. Oh well, they got me. No one would give a fuck. Then people would be like, aha, Shuli, you fucked up, you failed. And then everyone would be laughing at Shuli. but John has to put on this grandiose speech to tell you I don't stand for bullying. Like, this is his campaign speech. He dreamed about this when he was running for senator in California, and he never got the chance. So now he does it every day on the internet.
And we get his
But that
stump
would
speech.
require him admitting that he was wrong about something, and narcissists can't admit they're wrong. They're never wrong.
Well, here's what narcissists definitely don't do, Electra. If you said that to him, he would then go, I was wrong giving out Rob Saul's phone number. He has a list ready of things he was wrong about to prove you wrong about him being wrong.
I'm 3 steps
likely.
ahead of you.
Which is what the shitware and his fucking arrested trailer trash Fildo do not. They are the sleazeballs. They're the people that put a thumbnail with a gun pointed to my head.
Oh my God!
They
No! The shitwayer did that? That dirty son of a bitch. He needs to be taken down. That is, you know what? Frankly, that is akin to actually putting a gun to John's head. They might as well have just actually attempted to murder John, because what they did is just as bad, and I'm just as outraged by it.
Same thing.
They always seem to make me look like a corpse. What are they trying to say to you?
Those are just photos of you, John. Those are
You
just
look like a goddamn corpse.
Those are just regular photos.
That is a cell phone right there. He put the L in his own chat right there.
All of you.
Why do they always have photos of a zombie on screen?
They always make me look like a stupid drunk.
I'm always fat in their pictures. I never see my kids in their pictures. Yes. None of us
Losers that send them money, you support hate. And you can laugh and say whatever you
thank you, John.
We do.
want.
We do laugh.
But you support hate.
Yes. It's cheerful before football. Thank you, John.
I don't. I support love.
Oh, yeah.
Skull!
That was so creepy. The
Such
way
a
he
loving-
said love.
Such a loving guy.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's the end of John for today. Everyone, give it up for John.
Well, that was that. Yeah, that's all I really had to say about you. It's frustrating to me. It's like, I guess I don't want him to do it because I enjoy laughing at John. But if he just once was like, "Oh yeah, they kind of got me," whatever. Oh shit, they don't have anything to make fun of now. It's so easy.
I think the world would stop spinning on its axis, Mike. That would be the end of us all.
I know.
We do have some super chats, though. Electra, are you
Yeah.
ready to deep throat some of these super chats?
Let's
Jesus.
see what I can do with that.
All right, I worked on that.
Good Lord.
Patrick Ford, 199. Good morning, disciples of Saul and Melinda's Mafia.
Yes,
Good
we'll
morning,
get to
Patrick.
we'll get to Rob Saul as well. That's Patrick Ford?
Yes.
Yes.
He's a sick individual. He'll come up later in this program. I have
good.
I have some words to say to Patrick Ford. Tend to your children, for God's sake. We'll get to him later in the program because Rob Saul is coming up at some point.
Oh, good. And we have Dawn Fried Chicken for $4.99. Mike, I found condoms in my daughter's candy when Craig took her and his kids trick-or-treating. Ain't that something?
It really is, but it's kind of nice. Isn't it nice that he's practicing safe sex, you know? At the very least. I know most of them... I understand most of them can't have children, but...
He probably poked holes in them.
All right.
Darth Nugs, Gearhead. Darth Nugs gifted one Blind Mike Project membership. Thank
you, buddy. Yeah. We do have gifted memberships on, if you'd like to... I don't know how that works, but turn gifted memberships on. Is that what I'm supposed to say?
Yep, exactly.
Yeah.
And from ICUM Buckets for $2. Bad connection. The flag was patriotic, though.
Were you? Was that adorable, or are you not able to read? Were you afraid to say "I come buckets" or?
Oh, I just wanted you to say it. Oh,
Okay,
gotcha.
All right.
No, I don't know. Mark Abatista, $5. So John is stealing the chicken magnet boat gag from It's Always Sunny. He goes overboard to tell us he's not poor. I'm sure it's a neighbor's boat.
Yeah, the odds are it's not his boat, but for now, let's say, "Hey, Johnny, congratulations on the boat," and then let him embarrass himself.
I know, right?
We don't need to imitate dock workers and invade the boat.
No, this one we just sit and watch. It's gonna finish itself. This story, this
gonna
Shakespearean play, will finish itself.
Yes.
And Hulkamania gifted 5 Blind Mike Project memberships.
Thank you, buddy.
All right,
Thank
get
you
all-
so much, Hulkamania.
Get ready for a whole bunch of Vinny the Lawyer now. Here we go.
Okay.
What does that mean?
Go ahead, Electra.
Oh.
Oh, this is Ginny or Ginny.
I
Ginny
assume
the lawyer.
Ginny the
I thought that
lawyer,
was a girl's name, but okay. And he says, Dopey, you don't need a wind guard on Mike with foam.
Hi, Vinny.
Oh, I've got it. Too bad.
I think it's great. Ginny the lawyer, remove circle wind guard. Mike has wind foam, dummy.
Hi, Vinny.
Okay.
Carl's Frosted Tips, $1.99. I was told Tookie would be here. What a ripoff. Did I just say Tookie?
Who told you Tukey would be here?
I don't know if this next one's a dox, so I'm gonna skip it.
Okay.
It's a soft dox.
Okay.
Okay. Oh, it's Dang Lizard, €5. It's much more interesting if it's Stuttering John's boat, so I choose to believe him for now. Not ask how or why, and look forward to the inevitable shipwreck.
It is great if it's John's boat, because I hear having to maintain a boat is a nightmare.
Yes.
And for John to be able to do it is seemingly impossible.
They say, Mike, the 2 greatest days in a boater's life are the day he buys and okay. You've heard
I've heard that, yes.
I had a boat, I know. And Ginny the lawyer for $2. How shitty is Cape Coral? Boat sinking in background.
I heard that. I heard that if you look at the picture, the boat next to him was sinking, which it's a fun metaphor for what I'm sure is about to happen.
Yeah, there's like a pontoon boat sinking in the background. And it almost looks like a green screen, like a fake picture background. It almost didn't look real.
Well, they say the best time to buy a boat is mid-hurricane season when you've had some real damage down there.
It's a buyer's market.
Yeah.
Stephen Bravo gifted 1 Blind Mike Project membership.
Thank you, sir.
This is not the real, but still.
This is Stuttering John, but it's not the real Stuttering John for $2 because he would never give $2. Enjoy your nearsighted prison fake blind Mike. What the fuck?
That was one of my favorite things ever when he told Quadfather to enjoy his prison.
Oh, God.
But that's how did I forget that?
Yeah.
We just listened to a speech where he said, "I stand for love." He told Quadfather to enjoy his wheelchair prison. Enjoy life in a cage, he said. It's a man that's for love.
And the Shuli Network for $2. The Kumia prank was best in Dabbleverse. Agree?
It's not the real Shuli Network. But
I don't
Probably not.
I don't particularly.
And one more here.
I also don't think it's as bad as people say either. It was whatever.
Just internet shit.
For
Fun
content. Dang Lizard for €2. Stuttering John stands for Bloody Pants.
All right. Can we move on now, for Christ's
Yes,
sake?
that was the last one.
Thank you, everyone.
Time for some Tony.
I've been waiting all week. Incredibly late on this. I know it's been talked about to death, but I haven't gotten to. So I wanted to talk about Tony Hinchcliffe and a lot of the response that he got, because it really was crazy to see everyone essentially. It's almost as if the world got together and said, let's do exactly what's best for Tony Hinchcliffe's career. It was wild to watch this play out. So this happened like 2 hours after our show last week. Maybe not even. And Christian Blatt texts me. And he's one of these liberal cucks. He's like, you got to see this Tony Hinchcliffe bombing on this rally at Madison Square Garden, the Trump rally. And I'm like, oh boy. So I go back, and it was on a live feed on YouTube. Excuse me. And so I just went back and found it immediately. And I was like, oh, it seemed like whatever. I didn't think it was that big a deal. Little did I know, like, I didn't find it funny or not funny. It's weird when you find something like meh, people are like, listen to Mike kissing Tony Hinchcliffe's ass. It's like, no, I didn't hate it or love it. I wouldn't have reacted to it if the world didn't. So, like, I kind of thought it's exactly what I thought Tony would do. I saw some of his stand-up at Skankfest. He did a good portion of these jokes. So, like, I kind of knew what to expect. And I didn't realize the world would melt down over it. And it would impact the election. It won't really, but people act like it will. So let's play first some of the Tony stuff, because even though it's been talked about for a week, there are parts that strangely never get played in the media. It's wild how they edit it differently than I would if you wanted to have it in the proper context. So let's hear from Tony at MSG.
Yes, this was Hispanic jokes, and Tony probably thought he was going to be the October surprise here, but then a little squirrel came along, and my God, totally shook things up.
True. So, yeah, these are jokes that weren't really reported. And what's always interesting to me is, like, there are certain... They cling on to one joke. The Puerto Rico joke became like, can you believe he said this? Tony tells other jokes in this set that were just as bad, quote unquote, like just as naughty. And they don't quote those jokes. And then if you bring them up, they're like, yeah, that too. He was racist. But it's like, no. Get as mad about everything, or you're proving it's fake. So these are jokes that no one gave a fuck about for some reason that preceded the Puerto Rico joke.
It's absolutely wild to see. And in Texas, stuff is really, really crazy. We're right there by a wide open border. Where are my proud Latinos at tonight? You guys see what I mean? It's wide open. There's so many of them. It's absolutely incredible.
Not to break down comedy, he's talking about the people he's performing in front of at the Trump rally.
Yeah.
He's talking about Latinos that are at a, quote, a Nazi rally. So clearly it's comedy. Like, I hate the idea that people spent a week trying to twist this into Tony's real beliefs or something. Now, there is part of Tony's act that I find kind of strange. He's kind of become an actual Trump guy. Like I said, when I saw his stand-up, he'll say, and even on Kill Tony, he'll say stuff about Trump where I'm like, he's not that politically minded. Why is he going down this road? And I think it's simply because Tony's a good marketer. Like, he was a WWE fan who knows it'll rile people up, so he knows that if he's pro-Trump, that's like... Trey and Matt said it a few years ago, the South Park guys said, like, I guess we're technically Republicans because Republicans are the only way you can be rebels now, essentially. They're not. I'm sure they're not voting for Trump, but, like, saying that is the only thing dangerous. If you are a liberal, it's just boring now. Because did you see what SNL did last night with Kamala Harris?
Just in my timeline on Twitter.
It was just boring. There was no comedy.
Yeah.
It was just incredibly boring. It was, they did it
Safe.
so that the crowd could go, woo! There's more cheering in it than jokes. It's crazy.
Don't get me started. I'm a liberal, old school liberal, but we used to be the party of First Amendment and free speech, and then Tipper Gore came along and it all got fucked up.
You were on, or I know HACKRIDE was on with that cuck Christian Blatt. What was his take on this? He texted me holding his robe closed, like he was being assaulted. Like, I couldn't believe what Tony Hinchcliffe said.
I think a lot of people are like in the moment because this shit gets so hyped up and it's a political season. But free speech is on the ballot. It really fucking is, and that's unfortunate because, goddamn, I don't want to vote for that guy. But it does seem like
country.
It does seem. I thought like the liberals did a pretty good job of not doing this shit for the last 6 months or whatever. Like, you didn't hear a lot of finger wagging about words or jokes, or even when it comes to Trump, you didn't hear a lot of them bringing up like Trump said this about Mexicans or any of that stuff. They didn't get hung up on it for a while. They kind of played the smart approach because they know people are tired of that. And then it seems like just in the last month, they've been holding it in so long that they had to vomit it out. They're like, Tony Hinchcliffe and Trump said that. Now you even see it in the campaign ads again, where it's like, he said the thing about the rapists in Mexico, remember? And we're like, yeah, no, we remember. It didn't work in 2016. It's not going to work now.
And they kept the celebrities locked in the closet, and then in the last week, they just let them all out.
Yeah, they fucked up. They might have ruined everything for themselves.
Yeah, and then this goddamn squirrel, this fucking October surprise squirrel. Oh, you bastards. But anyway.
Back to Tony.
Believe it or not, people, I welcome migrants to the United States of America with open arms. And by open arms, I mean like this.
Can you describe for the audio listeners and myself?
Waving away. Get out of here. Go away. Go back home.
It's not bad. Like, that's not a bad joke. The other thing, too, is like, I think we have a clip of someone talking about this later, but like, the audience isn't mic'd for a comedy special. It's going to sound like he's bombing. Like, he's doing fine, it seems.
It's wild. And these Latinos, they love making babies, too. Just know that. They do. They do. There's no pulling out. They don't do that. They come inside, just like they did to our country. Republicans are the party with a good sense of humor.
So you can't take any of that and make it into a clippable, can you believe he said this? Because they're all so clearly jokes. Now, I would say the next one is also clearly a joke, but it was easier for people to be like, he's serious, and Trump also thinks that. It's like, it was so but it shows you the phoniness when it's like, well, there are other examples right there that you could have used of Tony's act, but those don't highlight him being, no one would listen to any of those clips and be like, he's a racist monster. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot going on. Like, I don't know if you guys know this, but there's literally a floating island of garbage in the middle of the ocean right now. Yeah. I think it's called Puerto Rico.
Pause real quick. That's where it's edited. For people to be like, oh my God, he called Puerto Rico an island of garbage. This part I didn't hear in all the clips or like the news coverage of it. For some reason, they stopped it right there. It's weird because if they just kept playing it, you would have said, no one would have gotten angry about it if they just kept playing it. It's so weird. It's almost like they wanted everyone to get angry.
Okay, all right. Okay, we're getting there. Now, again, normally I don't follow the national anthem, everybody. This isn't exactly a perfect comedy setup. There's some people here. All right, very good.
Like, I thought the national anthem line was one of his better lines because it just shows everything that's wrong with that. It's like, oh, that's not a setup for comedy. If Tony was doing those on a stage, which I've heard him do, like I said, he did them at Skankfest. If Tony just did that, no one would react to it. I'll grant you this. This should have been the story. How weird is it that Trump had a comedian at this fucking rally? It doesn't make any sense. I don't give a fuck that he did it. It's an interesting experiment. You can do it or not do it again based on how you feel it went. But it is a weird setup for comedy. But to try and turn that into Tony was being serious is just silly. So most of the reaction, and this is kind of what I like about where I think like the world is going, it does seem like, and I've been speculating on this for months now, or maybe even years, I guess you could say. It seems like the world will not react to Trump winning the same way they did in 2016. Trump's probably going to win on Tuesday. I don't know. Maybe something crazy will happen. Maybe he won't. But let's pretend he does. There will be the people that make the videos of them crying, and there are people that won't show up at college or work and take the day off for mental health. And maybe SNL will do something douchey again like they did with Kate McKinnon singing Hallelujah. All of that might happen. But the world will not shut down and cater to those people the way they did 8 years ago. I truly believe that because I think now we're at a point where there is we've heard enough of it. We know it's a scam for attention and clicks and all that stuff. And the thing I was most happy to see, was that the last Tony clip we had?
Of the Madison Square Garden, yes.
Yeah. So what made me happy was seeing Jon Stewart's response to it. Because clearly Jon Stewart was a better Daily Show host than Trevor Noah and the people that have been there since. Like Jon Stewart was the guy, but then I was like, in my mind, I was like, it was a different time. Would Jon Stewart have been as crazy with Trump? Like maybe we're romanticizing how good Jon Stewart was. And in one clip, I was immediately like, oh no, he was the guy. You can be a funny liberal. You can talk politics, be extremely left wing, and be funny. And Jon Stewart proves it here, much like he did with Colbert that time, the Wuhan coronavirus thing, when he was making Colbert uncomfortable. But whoa. X-rated.
Huh.
If you want to say R-rated, I'll grant you that. X-rated. Isn't that specifically pornography?
Yeah, I didn't hear any sex jokes.
Not even not sex jokes. Did Tony pull his cock out and fuck something?
He said cum, and that made all of their fucking hairs curl up. They can't say cum anymore.
That's X-rated? You could say that in
That's
an R-rated
X-rated.
film, I believe.
Yeah, you can say it on YouTube all you want, but not while running for president. Don't have anyone say cum anywhere near you. That's the
No,
rule.
all those clips are crazy. To call it hate-filled, to use hate-filled and jokes in the same sentence is so crazy. But to say X-rated is the most hilarious one of those.
It's giving him a lot of credit. Those jokes were bland.
Do these people see they did what's perfect? If like there are people speculating, like, did Tony purposely tank this for the liberals? Did Trump want him to be really racist? There are all kinds of like conspiracy theories behind this. I'll tell you, I don't know Tony Hinchcliffe. Never met the guy. I'll tell you exactly why he did it. It's for the reason that played out over the last week. People talked about Tony Hinchcliffe for a week, and Kill Tony's numbers will probably go up. More people know him right now than knew him a week ago when I was talking at this time. So that's why he did it. He didn't do it to get Trump elected. He did it for Tony Hinchcliffe, and it worked perfectly.
And isn't the point of comedy kind of to make people squirm and say the uncomfortable things that are funny, because that's what makes it funny?
Yeah. Did you, Casey, were you the one that sent me that Anthony Jeselnik clip?
Yes, it's my favorite clip of all time.
Well, so here's what's interesting about Jeselnik, though. I kind of agree with him to a point, but Jeselnik does fake shock humor. Like, if you think about it, what Jeselnik is doing is like, ooh, it shocks you. It could get him in trouble. But no baby died. His mom isn't a pedophile. You know, whatever joke he's making didn't actually happen.
Right.
Whereas, like, these guys actually are being dangerous and kind of putting stuff on the line because they're doing things that could get you in trouble. So Anthony Jeselnik has a point when he says, like, people shouldn't complain as much about doing edgy humor and that getting you in trouble. Well, that's what guys like Tony Hinchcliffe actually are doing, because Tony's been through this before with the Peng Dang thing. He knows there's going to be backlash, but now they're using cancel culture to their advantage. So it's kind of like we were talking about with Stuttering John before, where it's like they're doing it to fuel themselves. You getting angry about it is exactly what they want, because now people are saying Tony Hinchcliffe's name over and over again. People that never heard of him a week ago now will probably check out Kill Tony.
This is a solid business decision. Let's not overlook that part of it too, because it's not like Tony Hinchcliffe has this deep pocket of liberal fans, right? And so he just doubles down on the group that really likes him. Make that candle twice as bright, maybe lasts half as long, because it doesn't, like Jordan said, Republicans buy shoes too. So that's the thing that always confuses me. Like, why not be universal about it? But if your fan base is that strong, why not double down on it? It makes sense, you know?
Yeah, but I'll say this. I think it's different. I think Nick DiPaolo, like the way he talks about politics and stuff, absolutely will turn some people off. Like, I'm sure are people that are liberals that won't listen to Nick DiPaolo anymore. Tony Hinchcliffe's style, like, when this election's over, you're never going to hear him talk politics again, you know?
No.
Like, he's not actually a politically minded guy. Which is, again, why him doing this was for him. It wasn't to get Trump elected. He was thinking selfishly, and I don't say that in a bad way. You know, like, if you're smart enough to pull it off, you should do the same thing. But let's get back to it. Tom Brady Netflix roast was like one of, if not the comedy event of the year. It's a rare time where, like, everyone was watching the same thing at the same time and commenting on it. And the consensus was, oh, that was really funny. And even, like, you heard people say after that, like, hey, edgy comedy's back. Like, we can make jokes and not get in trouble for them, that type of shit. You hear there Tony Hinchcliffe make a slave joke about Kevin Hart. I don't remember headlines where it's like, this vile, X-rated, so-called jokes Like, I don't remember those headlines being written after the Tom Brady roast. And why? Because they can't claim that Donald Trump is also a monster. That was the reason.
That's right. And Mike, guess who's back?
I'll tell you because I can hear him.
Oh, and it's great to be back.
Jesus Christ. Why is he so loud? Why is he so loud now?
I'll put him down. Internet looks great, though, David.
Well, that's perfect. You know what we did? And this is a great shout out to Brave Browser. And I use Brave Browser for so many things, but you'd think for something like this, Google Chrome would have been the best. Apparently, they've really lost it, just like Google in every other aspect.
All right. Well, I want to get back to Tony in a second. But
do too.
First, can I tell you, David, would you mind if I told you about J37shop.com?
Are you plugging something?
I certainly am, David. I'm plugging J37shop.com because they are a big supporter of this program. My boy Joe from Virginia, who's one of the Harvard Degree 6, one of the people who survived a Dat Fan show.
And Tom Myers.
Yes, he has J37shop.com. It's an eBay store, basically, where you can find all sorts of collectibles, electronics, video games, Blu-rays, all kinds of stuff there. So if you go to J37shop.com, and here's the important thing, I think. Go back every day, because my boy Joe says that he updates it every day. I don't frankly believe him. So I say go back every day and see if he's still putting up new stuff every single day at J37shop.com. And what you can do there is use promo code BLINDMIKE, all one word, and get 10% off at checkout. So if you want nerd stuff you didn't know you needed, go check out J37shop.com. You're not just finding stuff that you may need or want that interests you, but you're also supporting this show and supporting the people that support this show, like Joe from Virginia. So we appreciate J37shop.com. Use my name, Blind Mike, all one word, at checkout for 10% off. And help J37shop.com hit their goal. So J37shop.com, we appreciate you guys supporting that and supporting the program. Use my name at checkout.
Wow.
All right. Can we get back into this?
Well, that's great.
What were you going to say?
Real cool. Oh, God damn it. Go ahead, Dave.
Go ahead.
Well, speaking of that Harvard Degree show, it makes a lot of sense that we may bring up Tom Myers. I think Tom Myers has been really on fire since this whole Tony Hinchcliffe thing, and I'm glad that we're talking about this. I've avoided watching anything Tony Hinchcliffe until this show, so I'm glad I could catch it and get me caught up. We've refused to even talk about it on the show because it's been such big news.
It really has. Did you talk to Tom Myers before or after this? I'm sure he had some hot takes.
We talked right before this, but if you follow him on Instagram, I think he's really been killing it, you might say. He had a great joke on about somebody. He tagged somebody else. He said, he did the Tony Hinchcliffe Puerto Rican joke, and then he said, "You live in Staten Island," which I thought was very funny.
He's pretty good, that Tom Myers.
And he has some other great Tony Hinchcliffe. He actually said something about, I didn't think any of that was funny or shocking, and then in the bottom caption, he said, "Is this how you actually kill Tony?" Hey, I think he's being very funny.
That's good stuff. It's good stuff from you and Tom. Thank you, David.
Perfect.
All right, let's get back to this Jon Stewart clip.
Well, it's great to be here.
Yes. Yes, of course. Terrible. Boo. Yes.
I'll go back a little bit. I'm sorry. This is John just being like, this is where John actually is a comedian as opposed to these people grandstanding and trying to shame Tony. Like, you forget what the people, anyone that came out against Tony and was like, this is ridiculous. If you're tweeting that or putting the clip out in your podcast and you're tagging Tony Hinchcliffe or hashtagging things, you're also doing it for your own benefit. So don't act like you have this moral high ground. You also want to get clicks off of Tony Hinchcliffe's name. It was so horrible, you wouldn't be trying to benefit from it if it was a real tragedy. Like, put it this way, the day after the Sandy Hook shooting, you weren't going and making clips, hashtag Sandy Hook, and giving your hot takes. If it was a real tragedy, you wouldn't be doing that. But you're trying to uplift yourselves from Tony Hinchcliffe, whereas Jon Stewart here is simply just being a comedian and taking what would be an unpopular stance with his people. You forget that's what political humor used to be. Like, Jon Stewart actually made fun of the news. It wasn't attacking the right and trying to take them down.
Well, people were waiting for him to be the voice of reason every evening.
And he certainly was that. We could skip the Luis J. Gomez clip because I don't think we need it.
That's too bad. Friend of the show, Luis J. Gomez.
Friend of this show as well, yes.
Although he still has never gotten back to me. He told me, send me a link. I said, well, that's why we're here. He said, we'll figure it out. We still haven't figured it out. The guy ignores me on every social media.
You know, David, he did the same to me as well, if I'm being honest with you. I reached out about possibly doing some gas digital shows. I got ghosted. Nothing.
Wow.
Yep.
You know, that
Want me
whole
to
team of
try?
producers is not very good at following up. I'll say that much.
That's okay, Electra. I appreciate it.
You want to go to Richard?
Yeah, so this is where there's some real reason on the left. This is what I like. A man who has his finger on the pulse of America. Now, you heard Jon Stewart's measured response and a voice of sanity. Richard took a slightly different angle. And I also wanted to take this as a chance to mention, I think we're going to play the Richard Ojeda drinking game.
Oh, great.
Using either Tuesday or Wednesday's show. I guess we'll see how it goes. It depends on the election results, but we'll see possibly both. But whatever is the most vintage Richard, I think we'll play the Ojeda drinking game at some point in the near future. I'll have to get Craig's schedule because I know he won't want to miss that, but I think that could be fun.
You just changed my vote on that one, Mike. Goddamn. Should have had you up on stage. All right, here, this one's called Tony is a Pawn.
Yeah, so this is Richard's take on this whole thing, where I believe Richard thought this was actually, we had teleported back to 1939, and we were actually at a Nazi rally.
Stomp.
I was talking to John before we come on here, and he said a word that absolutely makes perfect sense. This is about desensitizing people. You know, when these people come out and they call people, a garbage island, they speak, call murderers and rapists. What that does is some people will hear that, and it just makes it easier for them to allow that type of rhetoric. It desensitizes them, and what that's for is that when this is over with, if Donald Trump is successful and he decides to go round up all these Latino people, if they have desensitized the Latino people in the minds of these poorly educated jackaloons across this country, they're more likely to turn the other way while this takes place. The German population in the 30s and 40s was desensitized to the Jewish population.
Yep, and you know how they did it. They had a guy get up and tell jokes. That was old Adolf's classic approach. He had fucking Henny Youngman come out and give a few zingers.
It wouldn't have been him.
Is jackaloon a racial slur?
No, but the way Richard uses it does feel borderline.
It struck me as odd.
But can we play? Do you have that Trump clip I sent you?
No. Which
Instagram? It doesn't matter. I can explain it. I was disappointed. Trump came out. They asked him about Tony Hinchcliffe. This is before the garbage truck thing. They asked him about Tony Hinchcliffe, and he said, "I don't know who the guy was. I don't want to know him." Like, he kind of just threw Tony under the bus, which disappointed me as a guy who's like, Trump claims he's for free speech and all of this. Like, he's the party that kind of should be supporting comedy. So I was disappointed by that. But it also completely flies in the face of what Richard is saying, where it's like, he wanted Tony to desensitize you. It's like, well, no, he actually kind of threw him under the bus and ran away from it.
Well, there goes his chance to be on that podcast.
Yes.
Did he really blow the mic, though? Because I saw that. Was that, like, fake, or was that real?
It was real.
Did he blow the mic?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
you can't, Mike, you didn't see this, but Trump fellatioed the microphone. It was interesting.
Oh, that's just a show that wink to the audience. I do know who Tony Hinchcliffe is.
Okay. I suppose.
This one's called Vetted.
Yeah, so this is Richard talking about how it's first of all, I don't think they vetted the jokes. I don't think there's any way.
No.
Like, I think they just said, but I do think it was purposeful. I think they said, we'll have a guy like Tony come up and roast the crowd and roast what's going on in the news, whatever. Like, he's a roast style comedian. They had some idea of what he was doing, and they basically said, have at it. This is Richard saying it was a little more organized than that, apparently.
Donald Trump is spewing hatred. And oh, by the way, you do realize that people have to be vetted before you get to go to a rally and speak like that. That guy let them know the type of jokes he was going to say. To sit and call Puerto Rico a friggin' garbage nation? Folks, in 2004, 2005, that was the worst year of combat in Iraq.
Whoa.
And I was there. And do you know who I saw? I didn't see Donald
Saddam
Trump.
Hussein.
I didn't
He's got to say a Puerto Rican.
see none of his kids. But I saw the Puerto Rican National Guard risking their lives every day. They fight this nation's wars.
Hey, hold on. Could someone... We should tell Tony that. We should tell Tony that Richard saw Puerto Ricans in Iraq. He probably won't do that joke anymore.
You know, we do have a veteran here on the show that might be able to speak to that. Matt, do you remember seeing Puerto Ricans?
I can't confirm I saw any there.
Interesting.
Wow, that really flies in the face of what Richard said. There were folks run with that. There were no Puerto Ricans in Iraq.
Yeah, there might
But
have
like, do you think it would really change? Do you think Tony's unaware that there are some Puerto Ricans that are good people? Do you think he's not aware of that? Or was he just telling jokes, Richard? Like, fucking relax, man. Do you think you've interacted with Richard a little more than I have, Casey? Do you think if we had him on, he would understand that and he's just performing here? Like, if I had a reasonable talk with him, would he get where I was coming from?
Yes, I do, because he does have the ability to reason out right and wrong, and he just, it's voting season, Mike. You got to be
so
a little
fired up.
Yeah, the
But it's
day after the
disappointing.
election is a different.
He
game.
gets fired up in a way that's not even really fun to goof on anymore. That's why we haven't played a lot of Richard. It's nice to see him again. We haven't talked about Richard in a long time because he doesn't interact with the chat or anything that's fun to goof on. He's just kind of yelling about the same shit every day.
Yeah, every 4 years he kind of gets radioactive, but then it's over, and he's kind of fun to be around again because all he talks about the holler and the ladies in the holler and stuff.
Yeah.
They ante up. When it's time to do something, you can always count on the Puerto Ricans. My best soldier that I ever had, that I am very proud to say I submitted for a green to gold scholarship. And today he's wearing the same rank that I retired as. And he's getting ready to get promoted and outrank me. And I could not be happier.
Hey, someone quick, tell Tony there's a Puerto Rican that's better than Richard Ojeda. That'll change everything.
Very close to have a black friend. I gotta say, Richard, be careful.
But like Tony's had one of the most frequent guests in the history of Kill Tony is Luis J. Gomez.
I know, that's right.
The clip that we pulled from was from a clip entitled "Puerto Rican Comedian Luis J. Gomez Responds to Tony Hinchcliffe," which I thought was very funny. But like on Tony's show, the people that he's lifted up and essentially given careers to are Hans Kim, who's Asian, Cam Patterson and David Lucas, who are black, Kim Congdon, who's a Puerto Rican woman.
A number of people with mental disabilities.
Mental and physical disabilities. Like the people that Tony has platformed
Austin Ingalls
are not Austin Ingalls.
Oh, that's a great example of somebody that he wouldn't because he's too good and,
too handsome.
He has none of these lines anyway. He's a nice white boy.
Right. Yeah, but like if you look at the people that's why it's so ridiculous. Like the people that Kill Tony has platformed, say what you want about their comedy, it's a diverse group.
That's why this politics season sucks because people have these pre-built agendas, and the second you say that buzzword, it's like, all right, release the Kraken commercials about he's in Puerto Rico. We can do the Puerto Rico stuff now.
Right.
He was an amazing, and still is, an amazing leader. This comedian has the gall, the nerve to say something like that. And once again, these people, they are absolutely vetted for this.
Right.
The thing that I think about there is how many times Richard almost took and did take shrapnel and firearm and missiles for our right to be terrible on stage and say whatever we want. That's the whole point of the American military, Richard.
And then he just comes back and says, don't make any Puerto Rican jokes.
God damn. No excuses. This one.
Yeah, so there are. I thought the excuse would be he's a comedian and he was joking. I thought that would be the excuse. I'm told I was wrong about that. There are actually no excuses.
Is that a hammer?
And I don't give two shits about this daggone comedian, Hinchcliffe or whatever his name is.
Well, you got it right.
Let me tell you something. I don't tolerate racism.
That's a good point, David. He clearly learned his name. I don't know why people do. It's a tactic as old as time. For some reason, people do this thing where they think it's getting over on the other person. It's like a criticism if you don't know their name. It's actually a criticism of you. Like, if I forget someone's name that I'm talking about, it means I was ill prepared. It's not besting them or owning them. It's actually like kind of you fucking up.
You know, let me tell you something. I don't tolerate racism, and that's exactly what he was doing. And you know what? You can claim
It was
he's a
probably pretty
comedian.
shocking to this Tony Hinchcliffe, though, how few people in the country actually did know it.
David, we're losing you again, buddy.
A comedian doesn't get a pass. A comedian does not get a pass to spew friggin' racism, period. I don't care who you are. What that man said.
Are you sure about that, Richard? Because that's kind of your boy Stuttering John's excuse whenever people bring up him using the N-word and the F-word.
It's not good.
All kinds of stuff back in the day. Howard Stern. We can get rid of David now again. Sorry, David.
Yep.
Wednesday morning, drive time, David Collins, 7:30 a.m. The tech is usually better than that. I guarantee it. What's going on with David? Is he pranking us? What's the deal?
I just think that I honestly I'm going to
sound
get
was
with him.
terrible.
I'm going to get with him afterward. I'm going to see what his internet's like. Everyone thinks, oh, this is the best internet I can get until you call your service provider and they're like, oh, no, you can do 4 times better for $20 cheaper. And so it's probably just something like that. We'll fix it up. I'm on the
acceptable. And he was vetted. Vote accordingly. Once again, Donald Trump is talking about rounding up 2 to 3 million Latinos.
Whoa.
Vote accordingly. Because let me tell you something. They don't give a shit about you. What they are trying to do is desensitize the people in this country so that when they do round up people that are Latino and Hispanic, well, everybody will just say, well, they're gone. They're gone. Let me tell you something, folks. If it wasn't for immigrants, goodness gracious, we'd be in a world of hurt. And you know what? This is the thing. This is what's really bad.
Oh, Richard. So Richard has been advocating this for a while. He thinks that when Trump gets into office, there's going to be a Holocaust, essentially.
Oh, geez.
He's like, Trump is going to round up millions of people and put them in camps or something. I don't know what he thinks is going to happen. My rebuttal to that, I'm not a political guy, but my rebuttal to that would be like, he was president already. And that we've already seen that not happen. So I don't get why Ojeda's scare tactic is like, he is Hitler. It's like, well, we've seen that not be true already.
Also, I think he's right. Comedy does desensitize, but he's wrong in how it desensitizes. Comedy is always used to like make things that you're afraid of less fearful.
Right.
That's always
it allows you to laugh at things that you otherwise wouldn't. But if 2 million Latinos were rounded up and executed, I wouldn't be like, well, I mean, that Dave Chappelle sure did desensitize me to things. So
right.
I don't really care anymore, actually. I don't have feelings anymore because I've laughed at jokes.
It would be an interesting theory to like have the Army Major come and watch a comedy special, you know, like and just sort of like, what do you think about this, Army Major? Like, this is funny, right? Because he would get into it. And I don't know if he'd like Hinchcliffe, but he would understand a joke's a joke. This is tied to the goddamn election. That's why it's fucking nuclear.
Here's what's infuriating about that is if that set was at a Harris rally, no one would everyone would understand it was jokes. Oh, I mean, it's hard to put it in that context because obviously the Harris campaign is not hiring Tony Hinchcliffe to do stand-up at a rally. So it's a ridiculous concept. But I'm just saying, if he had a blue background behind him, no one would give a fuck about this. They're not the edgiest jokes ever uttered. They're not the most shocking or offensive. They were kind of whatever. At worst, you could call them like kind of hack, like shit we've heard before. It wasn't that crazy. But like the Garbage Island thing, like is kind of a good line because it's a misdirect. You don't think that's where he's going. So it's like whatever. Like who cares? You could say you don't find it funny, but the idea that Tony's a Nazi because of it, you wouldn't notice it. Like you said, if we showed Richard Tony Hinchcliffe's special, I don't know if he'd laugh or not, but he wouldn't be clutching his pearls in this manner.
Right. Yeah. I can't wait till Wednesday. Wednesday is going to be a great day in this country.
It'll be interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. We have a couple super chats here, Blind Mike, and then we'll get on to some dog fucking.
Okay.
Not us. Not us.
I understood.
All right. Electra, you there? Yes.
Yes, I am. John O'Reilly, $4.99. Here's to the savant of the Devilverse.
Is that me? Thank you.
I think that's
No, I don't think that was. I think that was John.
Oh, okay. All right.
Pretty
good.
sure. Or it could be me. Who knows? John Sunken Boat for $2. Don't worry, everyone. I'll be there soon.
Okay. Very good.
Yes, the boat will be on the bottom of the ocean very soon. We know this.
And Red 473 for $4.99. Lewis, did I say that right? Yes, Lewis backed Tony, as all comics should. The ones that aren't are hacks or pulling up the ladder behind them.
Yeah, it was a good clip. If you go watch Louis J. Gomez posted it on his channel, and it's the Louis and Zach show, the episode with Ryan Long. It was a good response, but it was just like we've spent enough time on it. I think you get the point. But
all right, that's all. Are we ready for Rob Saul?
Yes. So I think our boy Doom did clip this, but I said let's check out what's going on with Rob Saul. And Rob, because he's completely unoriginal, copies to a T what Kevin Brennan and Stuttering John do. So not only has he formatted a show where people insult him in the chat and he reads them for money and there's no actual content, but he also takes his episodes down immediately after he does them because that's a good business model. Instead of just turning on fucking watch page ads and making a couple extra dollars, he takes them down because he's embarrassed of the product he's putting out. But every once in a while he leaves an episode up. So I saw this episode from, I think, Tuesday night of last week, and I didn't realize he's going after Kevin Brennan. So I found this to be pretty interesting, his new approach, because if you remember, Rob doesn't find it funny. Like, he watched us talking about him engaging in certain relations that aren't real, and he watches us and goes, why is that funny? Well, look at him laughing. Why is that even funny? So I guess Rob doesn't think the idea of absurd scenarios, particularly absurd sexual scenarios, are funny. So let's see an example of something Rob does find funny.
Some dancing.
I mean, Kevin Brennan is so pathetic, but the only thing that gets me over Kevin Brennan is I started dating this new married chick named Shuli Beth, and she gives some good fucking head for theater tickets.
So hold on a second. Is that Kevin's wife's actual name?
I believe. Goddamn, I don't want to dox, but I believe it's closer. Yeah, there's a portion of it. That, yeah.
So he's just a genuine scumbag.
Yes.
At the end of the day, her name being out there, like, who gives a fuck? Don't do anything bad with it, obviously. But he's a scumbag that what he wants is for people to harass this person. So he's putting her information out there, and he's just such a cunt about it. But if you remember, like, people saying that Rob fucks his aunt or fucks his dog, that's not funny. Like, that's what are you, children? Why is that even funny? What is funny, apparently, is Rob fucking Kevin's wife, who is a private person. So let's hear how funny this is.
I'll tell you that. It had nothing to do with Kevin Brennan or anything. That's a whole separate thing. It just reminded me of my new girlfriend, Shuli Beth, who, just is an animal.
I'll tell you what, it was oddly funny about this is something I don't think Rob intended to be funny, is the idea of Rob fucking a woman is so absurd. Like, we know he doesn't like those. She only has 2 legs.
He's finally doing satire. Congratulations, Rob.
Yes. That's what's funny about it. It's so ridiculous, the idea to hear Rob talking about fucking a human woman who's not his relative.
And I mean animal in a good way, sexy animal. She's
Hold on, we got to go back. Rob, why, with all the accusations, why would you put yourself in this scenario? Rob, who is that you're fucking? She's a real what?
Is an animal.
Oh, no.
She's like, and I mean animal in a good way, sexy.
Yeah. Oh, darn. I don't mean I fuck my dogs.
What's animal in a bad way, Rob? Tell us that, please.
Rob, you shouldn't be talking about fucking animals. Do you understand? If you're so humiliated by what you and your dog do behind closed doors, maybe don't bring it on yourself.
It's like, and I mean animal in a good way, sexy animal. She's
yeah. I don't mean like the dogs that I fuck.
Sexy animal. God. Walk right into it.
A sexy animal like a Rottweiler.
Man, give it to you taking me to the theater. It's so exciting. When my husband, I don't know, he talks to men all day asking for money, and he wears this. I don't know. He might be a at-home telemarketer. He wears this little headset and just screams and is beat red with his herpes sores. And
I hate that this guy is making me defend Kevin Brennan. Listen to him trash the model of Kevin Brennan's show. He's like, this guy just yells at the chat on his show. Can you believe that? Anyways, what's Penis Wrinkle saying? What an asshole. That's the whole format of the show.
Yeah, he straight up jacked it. Now he's trying to make him disappear, so he has the only working format like this. But yes, it's exactly like Kevin Brennan's format. He actually, when he was on Kevin Brennan's show, said, "Yes, I stole it from you." He told him that to his face.
So yeah, so he admits that, but now he's pretending he doesn't completely want to be Kevin Brennan. Listen, I don't like Kevin Brennan. I think he's kind of an old, out of touch moron, like a hack that doesn't put any effort into his show. But like, he's funny at times. So I have no real issue with Kevin Brennan. I don't want to defend him, but you're making me to suggest, Rob, that you don't completely pray that you could have what Kevin Brennan has is so absurd. You've set up your show in a way where the only possible goal, the only thing you're reaching for, the height of what Rob Saul is doing is Kevin Brennan. Like, that's all he could hope for because he doesn't put any actual content out there. There's no one that would just stumble upon Rob's show and be like, oh, this is real. This actually appeals to all my interests. This is really good. It's just Rob reading the chat and going, oh, real funny. I fuck dogs. Oh, yeah, that's good. Real clever. And then this bit where he's like, I'm fucking Kevin's wife. Well, why is that different than people saying you fuck dogs? I don't get his mindset here.
If I'm just flashing through YouTube, though, and the guy's like, I don't fuck my dog, I'm stopping on that channel for a while.
I'm watching. Believe me, I'm watching.
Hey, honey, listen. I don't want to catch no herpes here. And she says, don't worry, Rob. I don't fuck this guy. Believe me. Believe me.
So interesting to watch. That's so different than people saying he bangs his aunt. It's such a totally different bit conceptually than the bit he said it is unfunny and he doesn't understand why people do it. And by the way, he threatened to sue people like Penis Wrinkle because they were saying it. Rob threatened legal action on these people. He said he went to the police because they were harassing him. And now he's just saying he fucks Kevin's wife.
My favorite thing was Rob was taking screenshots of the computer of Penis Wrinkle's quotes and stuff being put up on screen. Yeah. Who else does that? Who else takes pictures?
My favorite is the segment after this. We don't have time to get to it. But right after this, he has Chad Zumock and Ray DeVito on and calls them dumb. I really like when he does that bit.
Don't talk about our Chad like that. He's on a redemption arc.
So, I mean, that's just...
this one's called Fantasy.
This is Rob. Now you can tell he just likes fantasizing about having a girlfriend. Like, this has gone beyond him owning Kevin. Like, oh, he's really getting to Kevin. He says he's fucking his wife. But it's like, it's probably not getting to him because Kevin knows that's not happening. It's just a ridiculous thing. What you're seeing now is a man get into character and really enjoy the idea that he's having sex with a grown woman.
KB is a loser, Rob. I mean, he is. I mean, it's a shame. My girlfriend Shuli, she's married. She's got a husband like that, so that she describes to me. I mean, and we laugh in bed together about what a loser her husband is. It's not Kevin Brennan. This is somebody completely different, but yeah. I mean, she's like, yes, my loser husband would never take me to theater.
By the way, I thought I saw a clip of Kevin Brennan's wife on his show. Doesn't she speak like perfect English?
Yes.
Why is he doing that accent?
Because she's not. She's got a little tan skin. So
she never take me to theater. You know how American black women talk? What the fuck is he doing? So is he just like a racist? Why did he give her that accent?
Because that first name, he's like, oh, that first name, that needs an accent.
She must be ethnic or something.
Yeah, he's a wet brain. Like he's a wet brain.
Screams in his bedroom. He wears. I think he's telemarketer. He wears headset and he.
Well, that
just
telemarketer
yells
line.
and
That's really you should keep hammering that home. Listen, there's plenty of to make fun of about Kevin Brennan. I don't give a fuck that he wears a headset. Who gives a shit?
It's kind of endearing, I gotta admit.
I don't care. It's not. Believe me, it's not on the list of things that annoy me about Kevin Brennan. And he wears a headset. You really. I like. There's something about observational comedy, like Jerry Seinfeld, one of the greats at it. And what you're able to do is take something and twist it in a way where you're like, holy shit, that was in front of us the whole time. And I never realized it. Like, that observation was always there for the taking. What Rob does is half of that. And he says, let me just observe and not twist it in any way. Let me just look at Kevin Brennan and name things about him. He's pink and he wears a headset. You know, we all did that. It doesn't take a comedic genius to bring that to light.
He's Magic Johnson's Twitter feed. He just identifies things.
It's so weird, though, Casey, because I remember watching Rob watch us, and he couldn't wrap his mind around why an absurd sexual situation was funny. And yet here he is, talking about fucking this man's wife. It's so interesting.
screams and turns red and he has cracked lips and just he's disgusting. Rob, please save me.
He's
Give me some-
fantasizing. He's fantasizing about Kevin's wife reaching out to him to save her. Like that's where it got like gross, and it became more than him trying to roast Kevin. It became like, oh, he dreams about this woman leaving Kevin for him. Like that's a real fantasy that he has.
They were laying in bed together at the beginning of this. I mean, that's a detail that
there are no jokes really. He's kind of just like, imagine if we were having pillow talk. Wouldn't that be really cool, everyone? I think he forgot we were here while he was having this fantasy.
Some of that good D.
The dog's in trouble right now, I gotta say.
Oh, that poor guy. He's got a lot of pent-up aggression to get out.
Yes, he's working himself up. This next one called Dogs. Look at that.
Oh, well, so the dogs come up in the chat. And remember, it's not funny. It is funny to pretend you're fucking Kevin Brennan's wife, which everyone thinks is so cool. But it's not funny for people to bring up that maybe he's fucking his dogs.
No good chaser. Man, you are funny. I know I am. No, I don't. Put you in a timeout. No, people that have sick fantasies with dogs, I'm going to put them in a little timeout today. How about that?
So, Rob, it's cool for you to give out this woman's name and say you're fucking her, the mother of Kevin's children. Like, that's totally cool. But then when they go, hey, you're attracted to your dogs, get out of here. You're banned. At least he's resorted to banning them and not threatening legal action anymore. That's good.
Yeah. Also, that means you got to lock yourself in the jail too. Throw away the key, Rob. You're the one with these fucking fantasies. What a projection. My God.
That's the amazing thing is like I'm sure I'm guilty of a hypocrisy of my own. But like I try to make fun of things in a way that like if people made fun of me the same way, I wouldn't really give a fuck. It might bother me, like it might hit my sensitivities, but I wouldn't be like, I'm suing you. I need this off the internet. Like I like to think if people made fun of me the same way I made fun of them, at worst I would ignore it. You know, sometimes I might even find it funny. But like for Rob to threaten legal action on someone and then go and do the exact same thing to someone else, it's mind-boggling. It really is like disturbing to see these guys behave in these patterns where they do shit to other people, and the second it's done to them, they threaten litigation.
Yeah, it's hypocrisy. We'll call it. Begging is what this one's called.
Oh, well, there's more. It's funny you bring up the word hypocrisy, Casey. Let's see if you find any hypocrisy in this next clip.
but getting on your knees for men to pay you money so you
No, there it is right there. I saw the hypocrisy right there. 2 seconds in.
can feed your wife and kid. I mean, thank God his wife. Like nobody's talking bad about your wife. Your wife goes out and works and makes.
No one's talking about bad about your wife. You just said you were mouth fucking her.
We're laying in bed together. What?
You just said she was giving you a head and you were giving her that good dick. No one's speaking bad about his wife. What were the clips about that we just saw? I know you did the cute thing where you're like, it's not Kevin Brennan's role. That really fooled all of us, but you were just doing it, Rob.
And takes care of the kids while you sit there with men screaming and yelling and starting fake vendettas.
Yeah. It's so different than the show that he goes on with Stuttering John. That's completely different. It's not John's show and Rob's show. Those aren't like Kevin's show at all. No one yells and has fake vendettas and disagrees with the chat and only likes the chatters that give them money. Kevin's show is like that. And really, no other show is, particularly not Rob or John, the shows that Rob Saul is on.
It's an amazing insult, too, to say this guy who just sits around and watches guys all day and at the same time has a 4-box of just dudes on his screen. Like,
yes,
you're talking about you.
He's talking about Kevin or Shuli. That's his whole show. He's talking about Kevin or Shuli or whoever else. Penis Wrinkle. That's his entire show.
Meanwhile, he's got an octobox on his screen of just men. He's doing...
While begging for money. I don't need to work. All these men will give me money. All these men will give me lavish gifts.
Why does he keep saying men? Like, is he suggesting like Kevin's gay?
I don't know. Also, his shirt is way unbuttoned on top there. That I don't like that.
Well, he's sexy. It's a little sexy appeal to the show.
The way he says men and has his shirt unbuttoned, I'm very uncomfortable with.
It's getting the women hot.
Talk about
Electra. Are you hot right now? I see no liquid on the desk.
She passed out.
OnlyFan whores. I mean, you're just the same. Just because you're not getting naked, because somebody's going to pay to see you naked. But for some reason, these guys feel special. I feel special. Kevin really likes me when I give him a $50 super chat. He really seems to enjoy me. Oh my God.
It's a good way. That's a good way to really deter business, Rob. When the only reason you're doing your show is to collect super chats.
He's transitioning. I'm calling it right now. This guy's transitioning on air.
I mean, it doesn't get much more pathetic than that.
It does not. Accusation is up next.
I forget what this is. Let's find out. I remember. I mentioned this earlier. Our friend Patrick Ford. So, Patrick, I know you have children. Take care of your children. Close the computer, because our buddy Patrick Ford did this for no one. If I didn't happen to, I just randomly watched this episode, and if it wasn't for that, Patrick Ford would have just done this into the abyss. He's losing his mind. I love Patrick Ford. I hope he's all right, because this is what he's doing in his spare time for no one. He had no idea I was going to find this. This is just what he's doing now.
Patrick Ford, $4.99. Thanks for the super chat, fella. Craig from VGS and BMP was involved with the pedo stuff at the Shuli Network. They called him creepy.
No, if I can be serious for a moment, Patrick, keep doing it. Just let me know. Timestamp it, for God's sake, and let me know when you've done it. Because it's so crazy to me. I never would have found this. He just did it for himself.
Greg's just out there taking silent strays.
he did it for his own satisfaction. This never would have existed. It would have just gone into the abyss if I didn't happen to watch this episode.
They called him creepy, and they called him creepy and Crawley Craig. Awful babysitter.
Awful babysitter.
Awful babysitter. That's a good way to summarize a pedophile. This guy, he was a terrible babysitter.
Their PR department has to hire you.
That was just for nobody. No one watching the show understood what that meant. Rob didn't know what the fuck he was talking about.
they put me in prison with all the awful babysitters.
Great picture of Craig, though.
Craig, I put the Craigophile picture up.
Do they have horses like Borgo? Yeah.
This is really good, and this is where you see how. Jesus Christ.
That's tone.
This is where you see how brain dead fucking Rob Saul is. He has no idea what Patrick Ford is saying. His mind goes right to Shuli. He's immediately he's so obsessed with Shuli that he's like, oh, pedophile? Shuli. I don't know what this noise is that he's making, but that's immediately where he goes.
Can we put that in the outro, please?
You know what? Yes. God damn it.
Why?
Yeah, instead of the John thing, we need a Rob Saul in the outro. So yeah, that's good.
It's just that tone. Hold on, a Rob Saul tone outro. Yeah. All right, note made. Here we go.
I have men showering me with money.
That one too, maybe.
And then the real men are out showering my wife with theater tickets.
He has to get back to that bit. It's the greatest bit he's ever created. It's his 7 dirty words. That's his hot pockets that people yell for as an encore.
Is bong rip transport.
Women.
Yeah.
You're all losers. I mean, it's really unbelievable what losers you all are.
God, there's so many clippable things here for the outro.
But hold on, he's making fun of Kevin for calling people losers. That's pretty close to the only word I've heard Rob say. I've heard him say maybe 15 or 20 other words. But like if you did one of those, what are they called? Like the word charts, where the more you say it, the bigger it is on the screen. Yes. Loser would take up the entire screen for Rob. Everyone in this show, these losers, like Penis Wrinkle, who just troll me. These losers who say I fuck my dogs. These losers who say I try to fuck my aunt and can't close. That's all Rob calls people as losers. And now he's making fun of Kevin for doing that. At least John's hypocrisy, you have to take like one step to get there. Rob's, we're already standing on it.
We're in the cauldron of Rob's.
It's crazy.
God, that tone.
Unbelievable what losers you all are.
Thank you, Patrick Ford, for that. He did it for his own satisfaction. Patrick Ford just wanted to hear Rob Saul say creepy crawly Craig, and he moved on with his day. He never told me that existed or anything.
That's amazing. We do have a super chat. Yeah, that's all for Rob today. So bye, Rob. We have a few super chats here.
Let me tell people real quick, because we are about to hit the goal. So I do want to remind people to help J37shop.com hit their goal. Because if you are into collectibles, video games, electronics, all kinds of stuff, J37shop has you covered. Go to J37shop.com and use promo code BLINDMIKE, one word, my name, Blind Mike, at checkout for 10% off. And he updates it daily. So he says, I say, keep him on his toes. Go back every day, make sure he's updated it. See if there's anything new on there that you might like to check out. And go to J37shop.com to help J37shop.com and my buddy Joe from Virginia hit their goal. And use promo code BLINDMIKE at checkout.
I got my eyes on a GoPro over there. $45 for a GoPro. Yeah,
there
so
you
they
go.
got good stuff over there for decent prices.
Perfect.
Yeah. All right, let's do some of these super chats. DJ Electrify, you ready?
Yep.
All right, here we go. Oh, it was you. Huh.
John O'Reilly for $4.99. Here's to the savant of the Dabbleverse.
It was.
We already read that one.
Oh, well.
We sure did.
We read that one.
Okay. Well, what the hell happened? Here we go.
We'll speed this process up on here.
Tumble Dry for $10. Sunday mornings with Blind Mike and his crew are very relaxing for an old boomer like me. I like the new News Babes leggy avatar. More mini skirts.
Oh, good.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you, Tumble Dry.
Yes. It's very relaxing. David Collins is screaming and his internet is breaking up. It's a real relaxing vibe here we have going.
John O'Reilly for $1.99. The savant is Mike.
See,
Oh,
it was you.
thank
That was
thank
the
you,
one I
buddy.
was looking
Sweet.
for.
I
Yes,
thought
it was
so. You guys couldn't give me the credit, but I appreciate it.
you. All right, time for some Alec Baldwin.
Let's see, what time is it? Do I
Or
wanna
we
get
can
down
go
Baldwin?
straight to goal time.
Should we? Yeah, it's already 12. I say we do the goal because that might take up some time. The Alec Baldwin stuff we can see. It wasn't that great. I was good to see Alec Baldwin posting eulogies again, but maybe we'll get to that next week because I'm hoping he posts a little more. But let's skip that for now.
No problem.
And
Do you
go
want to
right
start
to-
with April or goal?
Yes, I do want to start with April.
All right.
so April had her omnibus hearing. I still don't
Yep.
quite know what that word means, but
That's a fancy lawyer term for just like, hey, let's put everything on the table and see what we got.
okay. So she's having her omnibus hearing. This is in a courtroom in Minnesota. Now, first, can you explain to me why in 2024 there's still Zoom here? Like, we're well done with COVID. Why doesn't she have to go to a courtroom?
Okay, I actually do know the answer to this. So I watched a lot of these court shows that were put on YouTube during COVID. And what ended up happening is they got really popular and the judges liked the exposure. And also the cities and all the prosecutors and all that found that they were trying more of the cases. Less people were running away because they were able to do these from these people's homes. And so there was less skipping out, less warrants being out. And so they literally all determined that this is now a way that you can do it depending on your situation, financial, travel, all that.
I think in there you all answered my next question is, why can anyone enter these rooms?
Because they have their public trials and it's open. Like sometimes the Judge Middleton, the one I listen to, he'll open it to people just to be viewers.
But
And
everyone's mic is on?
No, well, they make them mute them. We're over at Judge Middleton, but wherever this place is, does not have independent control over the microphones that are there.
Yeah, so
'Cause
whatever fucking podunk town in Minnesota that April resides in, apparently they were not equipped for this Zoom hearing. And so, April's having her hearing. It seems like everything's going smoothly. And then there's some interference. You can't quite tell who's talking. And it seems like they're familiar with the Steel Toe Morning Show and Nick Rekieta and some of the other stuff going on in April's world.
21st at 10 a.m. Anything else this afternoon?
No, Your Honor.
No, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right,
Honk loves you, April. Keep your head up, dear.
Yeah.
A little honk to clown check in.
I think it's proof that April Ryan Bowl men will willing to burn down the world for a Minnesota six.
Come from the courtroom, whoever the
Is Ian Hawk? God, I know all these voices. It's fucking
observer
hilarious.
is that's speaking.
Oh, these guys do a show? The people that are in there?
No, they're just Dabbleverse trolls.
Oh,
I mean,
okay.
Honk to Clown does do a show, but I don't think Ian has a show. But they're just kind of notorious Reddit trolls and Discord trolls. Yeah.
It's astonishing. Kudos to them. I don't understand how they got in there.
It's not as hard as you think. It really isn't.
It's wild to me that they think like, just let anybody in. They can participate. Who gives a fuck, you know?
Yeah. They haven't met the Dabbleverse.
This is why like conspiracy theories are hard to believe sometimes because it's like, well, the government's also just incompetent.
Yes,
They can't run a fucking Zoom meeting.
No, you think people could hide the moon landing? They can't even freaking, run an Ethernet cable to their computer most of the time. So.
All right, thank you very much. The matter is adjourned.
Observer, can you just
Thank you,
ban the
Your Honor.
judge? He's annoying.
Who is this?
Who is this?
Your dad.
Yeah, I agree.
Who is speaking?
Sir, can you just leave?
Who is it?
We're-
Your
we're-
Honor, if I may, Your Honor. So far, they've been less than honest with you.
It's Johnny Cochran.
Why do you think? Oh well, now I'm just going to give my legal name. Can they get like in trouble? He threatens to hold them in contempt. Can they actually get in any trouble for this?
No, because they're
Yeah,
out
I
of
didn't-
state. But
right.
but if they're in state, the judge can send the bailiffs to pick them up. I've seen it before on one of these court shows. It's amazing.
Interesting.
Yeah, no. So just because you're a remote, they will send the fucking cops to your house and they'll grab you live on air. There's a great video of it where the guy's on court and he's grabbed from the cops. They come to his house.
This reminded me of the Always Sunny episode when Mac and Charlie get the jobs at that office, and Mac is in the guy's office and he calls himself, And Mac answers the phone. He's like, all right, so give me your name. And Mac's like, give me your name. And Mac just hangs up the phone. It's like, they're not going to give you the name, Your Honor.
No. They'll give you a name, but it ain't going to be the one you want.
No, thank you.
Yeah, April's a whore.
Is this?
Are you good, Judge? You seeing it? You using your eyeballs?
Just tell me your name, sir.
Give me your name.
Is this the B. LaRue? Is that you?
Oh, God.
I'm not Balin LaRue.
There. So that is the name. That is the name of Aaron's ex-wife's current husband.
Jesus Christ.
He's literally, he's Peter Jennings in the OJ chase. He's just contributing to this in a way he has no idea.
I see OJ.
I see April and she looks scared.
She's scared.
Yeah, that's Nicholas Recader. Bill Schultz is homeless.
Connor or Mary, can you speak?
You will not ban me from speaking. This is America.
All right, well, whoever you
Sir?
are. I don't know.
What I love about that
finding
one is it sound like his internet cuts out. So it sounds like they finally figured out how to mute him. And then he comes back a second later.
Well, it's because both of the judges associated mute him at the same time. That's me and Electra do that all the time. Then he comes back on.
Oh, is that what happened?
No, I don't.
I will not stand for this.
I'm finding you.
Even though I'm sitting right now. Oh, you're gonna. What courthouse am I in? What contempt? Show me the contempt.
Show me the
This
contempt.
guy's mystified.
Show me the contempt.
This poor old fucking Minnesota judge has not like he seems like he's just counting down to retirement. He has no idea what he's dealing with here. You know?
Yeah, too old for this shit. He's pulling some Danny Glover here at the end. It's one more thing's coming.
Oh yeah, it's
But yeah,
it's
what about April being a whore? Like, does she need to be punished for her whore activity?
That's how it is.
Gonna get an answer. Your Honor, I gotta follow up. There's one more thing. April's a whore. Your thoughts?
It's like instead of our Congress, it's like the House of Commons in England. That's how everything should be. Just you should be able to comment on everything. All right, this one's all right. Now, do you want to get to the goal time?
Oh yes. All right. So since we last left you, since we last talked about the goal, I think the last time we talked about it, we talked about how Aaron is like doing this kindness thing, right?
Yep. This gross, happy fakeness.
He's killing us with kindness, where he's like, "Oh man, hey man, every dollar counts. Oh, you're so generous. Really love you guys." Because the criticism was always for him like, "There's no you just don't appreciate what people are doing. You're just constantly begging and like, hey, we need more money, constantly asking for money. There's no appreciation." So now he's like, "Oh, I get it. What I have to do is fake appreciation." It's like, well, no, that's still mockable, Aaron. So Aaron thinks he's avoided mockery by showing appreciation for his chatters. But as I was listening to This Little Piggy the other day, the Steel Toe show that they do, and my guy Moody, basically, he's like, well, now he just like once he hits the goal, he's like, yeah, fuck the haters. And so it's like still like it's like, oh, the positivity thing is fake. You immediately reveal that right after because you're saying fuck all you people that watch the show and don't want us to hit the goal.
Yeah, so we're fake donations is the first clip here, right?
Yeah, so he's addressing he does this where he tries to use reverse psychology when people talk about his fake donations. He's like, "Oh yeah." But he completely misses the mark on what people are accusing him of. If you're not too well versed in the goal, what people say, I will say, like people accuse Shuli of faking super chats. I have no idea if he does or doesn't. I just don't know what the benefit would be because he'd be losing money on that. Like it doesn't seem like a winning recipe. But with Aaron, I do believe it because what people are saying, like when I talked to my guy, the Aussie guy about it, he basically said the reason people think it's fake is that with 10 seconds left, he'll pretend to look at PayPal and go, "Oh, what do you know? $150 just came in." So because Aaron looks at the goal and not hitting the goal is losing, then it's like a fuck you to the haters when some fake Venmo or PayPal comes in that we can't really tell if it actually did or not. So that's the idea of fake donations on the Steel Toe Show. But let's see how Aaron addresses this suggestion.
Let's go to the Lil Durk thing while you guys are throwing in some PayPals, Venmos, and Super Chats and whatever. Oh, I was watching the Kino Casino last night talking about this stuff. And they said something about me that I was really it offended me greatly.
What did they say?
They went with the fake donos thing. They were like, "Oh yeah, Aaron fakes donations. Didn't he admit that?"
No.
And I'm like, first of all, if I was doing fake donations, the last thing I'm going to do is admit it.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
second of all,
so we know you're not going to admit it. Yeah, Aaron, I got to tell you what. There's no need for a second of all, because now anything you say is bullshit. You just told us you would lie about it, even if you were doing it. But continue, I guess, even though you just completely undercut what you're about to say.
Ever since like Melton's fans got this whole thing going, which by the way, Andy, PPP, you guys are repeating a Melton thing. I know how you feel about that guy. You might want to. So ever since people started that rumor, I was like, how is the concept of me
Oh, this
faking
is on.
a donation?
I should mention, by the way, that bleep just from. I was like, why did we bleep it like that? I remembered. This is on Real Media Player. Who does? I always say does a very good job, not just with. I like his only goals thing that he does, where he puts the videos together of just the goal. That's where I got this. But he also does something very nice for guys like me who don't know a lot of the history of Steel Toe. He's doing a series of how Nick and Aaron met each other. So it's like literally there's an hour of him talking about Nick before they ever met. And then I think that there's a more recent video where it's like once him and Nick met. So he's putting together a compilation of essentially how Aaron's entire life was ruined. So go check out Real Media Player. He's doing a lot of good Steel Toe stuff. But this is part of his Only Goals series that he does. Which, as I always say, the crazy thing to me is this video that I pulled clips from, it's like 35 minutes. So even though he's doing like this kindness thing, it's 35 minutes of him talking about the goal. That's a crazy amount of time to be doing that.
Yes, and I don't know if it's him or one of the other Clippers. I think it's him. But they do this thing about like April, because I'm like, who's April? What? So it's just like a series about like meet April. And so it's like April on the Steel Toe Show, like a catalog of her appearances, and it was fascinating. So thank you, whoever did that, Clippers. Clippers are awesome.
Started that rumor. I was like, how is the concept of me faking a donation? Because you know what doesn't happen if I fake a donation?
You don't make any money.
I don't make any money. And then I stop asking for money if I do a fake donation and it hits the goal. Now, no more money's coming.
Right. No, that's true, Aaron. But this is a classic Aaron thing where he half addresses something. He spins it into what he is pretending the criticism is. And he's like, oh, that's a really easy criticism to refute. Here's why I do that. But then all of us watching are like, yeah, but that wasn't the actual criticism. Our criticism was different. So again, to refute what you're saying, Aaron, people are suggesting you've missed the goal either way. You're, let's say, $80 away from the goal. And then magically in the last 10 seconds of the show, in order to extend the show, you say, oh, look at that. We got $80. And people are like, where? What do you mean? We don't see it. And you're like, it's on PayPal. Don't worry about it. That's what people are saying. So now address that part. You definitely will, right? Or will you continue to pretend you don't know what we're talking about?
It not only does it not give me the money I'm saying I'm getting, but it also stops other money from coming in.
Yeah, that argument is like... God damn, it's a ridiculous argument.
It doesn't stop money from coming in because what Aaron's doing, Aaron's set these parameters that if I haven't hit the goal, I have to end the show right now. So Aaron is making up that they hit the goal so he can stay on for another half hour and collect more money.
Because he's always selling.
Again, I don't know that he does that, but that's at least address the accusation. It's like I always say with Chris D'Elia. Like people called Chris D'Elia a predator, a child predator, a sex pest, all this kind of stuff. And Chris D'Elia came on and was like, you know what, guys? I got to put my hand up and own this here. I cheated on my wife. And everyone's like, well, that's not what the accusation was. That's not the part we were worried about. And so it makes you kind of think maybe this guy is up to something. So when you address rumors like that, Aaron, when you address it in a way that completely avoids what people are suggesting, it makes us think, oh, he's hiding something. He's pretending not to get what we mean so that he can dance around the issue.
Yeah, we call this the Kobe in Denver scenario. This is exactly what happened to Kobe in Denver. This one's called Always Selling.
This is, I mean, he's a salesman, baby. It's important, no matter how it is. If it's kind or rude or dismissive, whatever the vibe is you're taking, you got to be selling.
But yeah, the fake dono thing. Now, don't everybody go to PayPal and Venmo and Super Chats and everything else and start writing in, this is actually Aaron, this is a fake dono. I'm
Good
just
reverse
kidding.
psychology, Aaron. Now I so will. Now I definitely will. It'd be so cool to shame the haters now. I'm definitely going to do that. I'm going to rush to Venmo and label it fake dono. That'd be so much fun.
Absolutely start.
Yeah, we go back because I want to hear him doing this stupid bit. But I don't think Aaron knows that, like, the definition of the word fun. Not saying he might be a very fun guy. What I'm saying is he doesn't know what fun means because he always uses it wrong. He says things like, wouldn't it be so fun if 50 people each gave us $1 to get $50, which we happen to be $50 away from the goal? Wouldn't that be so fun? And he also says, hey, guys, wouldn't it be fun? People are saying we do fake donations. Wouldn't it be fun to donate and label it a fake donation? That would be really fun. And it's like, no, Aaron, I don't think you know what that word means. It would exist. It would be something people were doing. It certainly wouldn't be fun. Fun is just the wrong. I'm not saying you're not very fun, Aaron. I'm saying you're mislabeling this as fun. No one's having fun when they're like, all right, PayPal, Aaron Imholt, $50. Send. Confirm transaction. Oh, we are having some fun now.
But yeah, the fake dono thing. Now, don't everybody go to PayPal and Venmo and Super Chats and everything else and start writing in, this is actually Aaron, this is a fake dono. I'm just kidding. Absolutely start doing that. In fact, fake dono rally, just make sure you say it's an Aaron faked dono.
Aaron, because then we would be fooled. All the trolls would think, hey, these people, they're labeling it fake donations. That must mean it's fake, because that's how Aaron would do it. No, that's not the accusation being made. Again, I'm not even saying Aaron does that, like has fake donations, but I'm just, he's completely ignoring what people are saying and putting on this show to try to distract everyone. Like, he's not a genuine guy, and that's why people goof on you. People don't goof on you because you miss the goal. Aaron, spoiler alert, he happens to miss it today. But I don't really give a fuck if he misses the goal. We've played goals that he's hit before, and it's just as fun because we're not making fun of the money. We're making fun of the journey, Aaron. We're making fun of how you got there.
Just more work for the night crew.
I always found that one interesting that people got in on that one. Because I'm like, it doesn't make any sense. The fake dono thing.
Well, it makes sense the way it was spelled out. It does. You're right. The way you set it up makes no sense. I'm with you on that. But the way like the Aussie guy set it up does make sense. So if you address that would be better. But
getting to the point of fake donos, we're
how numbers work.
Oh, we get a real lesson on. Aaron always likes to show us new ways of math. So this is guys, get your pens and pencils out.
Vance Rosberg becoming a steel toe bro. Thank you very much, Vance. That's very much appreciated. That's worth a good $5. 185 away from today. Ooh, let's keep going. 185 turns into 150 awful quick. 150 turns into 100 awful quick, and 100 turns into 0 awful quick. Throw us a couple bucks.
Those were not sequential in any way, but I suppose. So he's saying we have to give. So 185 turns into what? 150?
Yes.
Someone has to give 35.
Yes.
Then 150 turns into 100, so someone has to give 50. And then 100 turns into 0, so someone has to give 100. So everyone write that down. Take your positions. I call 35. You guys have whatever you want. And then we'll meet here once we hit the goal.
I don't want the 100. That's a big last step.
That's why you got to call dibs early. That's why I'm smart.
I want the 0. I take 0.
We'll get it knocked out.
Killing with kindness is the next one.
He loves doing this. So this is now where, like, I used to say, Aaron doesn't appreciate us. I'm always giving the goal, and he never even thanks me. You know what, Aaron? No more donations until you give me a proper thank you. So this will appease guys like me. I'm excited.
Commentary. 185 away from today's goal. Contribute via PayPal, Venmo, Super Chats, and Rumble Rants. We really appreciate you guys keeping us on the air, and we hope you can push forward a little bit more to get us all the way home. Thanks, guys. Here's Tucker. By the way, 185 away from today. If you guys would like to contribute, let's hit a big rally. Let's do a little bottom of the hour rally here. Let's make a little money and make that 185 a little closer to 0 today and get off to a good start this week. I really appreciate your guys' support. I think you guys are awesome. Those of you
Oh,
who throw
man.
in,
Oh, good. Now I'm gonna. You know what, Aaron? I'm gonna give a little extra money. I didn't realize how cool you thought I was. That's so sweet of you.
He's reading it too, by the way. You see, there's parts of this he's reading. Like, you're nice and good people.
You are all. I understand. You all work hard for your money, and it's not easy to give. So any amount counts.
appreciate your guys' support. I think you guys are awesome. Those of you who throw in even just a couple of bucks to keep this show on the air, you're the best, man. We couldn't do it without
Aaron
you.
Aaron is the fake crackhead in Office Space who's going door to door selling magazines. He's got this script out, and he's just tugging at our heartstrings. He's pretending to be a good guy, and he's reading this script of, if you hit the goal, then that means it will put us in the black, and I can pay Johnny Crutches and all of our other expenses, of which I have virtually none. But it would be great for me, because then I could continue to make $100,000 a year. You guys are terrific, and thank you so much.
Feel like throwing a little more at us? Throw a little more at us. We can get that 185
I
out
do
of
feel like that today, Aaron.
I
feel like throwing you a little more. I know you've said only throw a couple bucks, but I feel it in my bones that I need to give you more money. So I'm glad. Thank you for giving me the option of paying you more. I so appreciate it.
Out of the way, we can do 30 minutes of overtime, and we can call it another win for the toe. So there's the 185.
It's exciting.
Thanks again. Let's go ahead and knock out that last 185 for today. We've got we're 20 minutes.
By the way, Real Media Player is cutting this. It's just him. There are long chunks where he keeps saying, like, he's moving on to other topics, and then he comes back and he's like, 185 is the number. We are running short on time here.
Did you not all hear that content I just played? 185 still the number.
And Aaron's always mystified. Like, some people pop in early, say, hey, I'll contribute to the show today, give a few bucks, and then they leave. Aaron's always mystified. He's like, oh, man, we got to 185 so quick, but now we're not getting to 0. What the heck happened? I guess we weren't doing as good a show in the second half of the program. It's like, no, Aaron, just some people showed up to give you money and others didn't.
You turned them over and all their change came out. There's nothing left.
Yes. Yeah, their pockets are now empty, Aaron.
Away. We're only down to 185 today, so it's not looking great. But if we rally it up, we can do this.
I like
thing.
that even the positivity has affected even this, where he's like, 185 is not looking great, but I mean, at least we're not dealing with the horrors in Israel, or we're not in the rainforest. It's like there are some positives, It's like, yeah, I guess, Aaron, but you're obsessed with the goal every day. Don't pretend like there are bigger fish to fry.
Now I'm obsessed with him, seeing him hit the goal and just saying "fuck everyone." I'm obsessed with that now because of this nicety.
Sadly, I don't think we're getting there, but
no,
appreciate it.
We're stuck at 185.
Donate.
I've gotten things back on a better footing over here, but 185 away. That's that's a bit of a rough day. Got off to a great start. We hope you guys
He's
do
even
feel like
changed. He's like, he used to be like, oh, we're getting our dicks kicked in. Oh, we're getting our fucking nuts smashed today. And
You
now
don't
he's
love
like,
us.
and now, oh yeah, I guess we did a dog shit show because you guys aren't paying us dick. And now it's like, ooh, 185. Ooh, that's a bit subpar. It's a little, that's further away from the goal than we'd like to be, but you guys are still terrific. Oh, you're all the great guys. What are numbers anyways? I know that 185 turns into 100, which turns into 0, but really, it's about the number of smiles at the end of the day. You know, we're all just having a good time. Numbers don't even really matter. I know I keep mentioning it over and over again. I continue saying that we're 185 away, but it's not like I really care about it, you know, as long as you guys are having fun out there.
contributing. Streamlabs, PayPal, Venmo, Super Chats, Rumble Rants. Starting the week off behind, never a good way to start off the week, but we always assume that this audience keeps supporting us, and we do appreciate you.
You guys are
remember,
terrific,
if we can get
man.
it within 50,
Aaron, that's
by the
not
end of the hour.
Who is that fooling? Like, who listened to you every day? Like, oh, I guess we're fucking losers because you guys aren't paying us today, huh? I guess we're not doing a good enough fucking job. Those same people are listening to you today and being like, oh, he doesn't really care about the goal that much. Oh, I get it. The whole time I thought he cared about the goal all this time. It seems like he doesn't because he's being so chill about it now.
Jig is up.
We always assume that this audience keeps supporting us, and we do appreciate you. Remember, if we can get it within 50 by the end of the hour, we'll give you that overtime on credit. So, pop into Streamlabs.
You will? On credit.
What does that even mean? I mean, I know what it means, but I mean, what does it mean?
He reminds us. It would be like if every 10 minutes I was like, hey, guys, reminder, we're going to talk about Stuttering John at some point and Steel Toe probably and Rob Saul. The audience would be like, yeah, Mike, we know you do it every week. We know. We got it.
Click one of the links.
Aaron doesn't need to keep reminding us.
No. PayPal, Steel Toe Media Inc. on Venmo. We would really appreciate you guys keeping us on for an extra half hour today. I'm not really as worried about missing as I used to be. I mean, if we miss a couple days in a row, then I'll be back to, fuck, let's, not like negative about it or anything, but I'll be
I'm not going to be negative, man. I'm chill. I'm cool as a cucumber, brother. Whatever. I'm just saying I'd like to hit that goal, and I keep mentioning it over and over again, but I don't even really care, man. Whatever way the wind blows me is where I'm going to end up. Ain't no thing.
He turned into Shaft.
But, we've missed enough lately and then made it up where, what do you do?
6 of
But
1,
that being said,
who cares?
On my third marriage.
I would love if you guys went ape shit on us today and threw us a few bucks for doing a solid program for you. All the links are in the chat. Go ahead and check it out. Throw a couple of bucks our way, and let's
where are the
make
links?
this 180.
Tell us where the links are. Tell us where the links are, and then read them. Where can I donate? You don't tell us enough.
5 at 9:42. A distant memory.
All right, the evening crew. It's their time to pull their weight, Mike.
Oh, man. 185 away? The evening crew is going to have a fucking field day. Oh, guys, hurry up. You don't want the evening crew to dunk on us again. They make us look silly.
$1 from numero uno Josh Denny fan. He says, just got off the horn with the evening audience. They said you guys are poor and the evening audience, according to numero uno Josh Denny fan, shitting all over the morning audience. Well, I'll tell you this. I think the morning audience is...
No. I'll tell you this. That guy was fucking with you, Aaron. The guy who sent that chat finds it ridiculous that you have pinned the evening and morning audiences against each other when I assume it's virtually the same group of people watching you at both times.
No, Mike, it's dividing families.
It's completely new. Brother against brother.
Civil War.
There are husbands that watch in the morning before they go to work, and there are wives that watch as they put the kids to bed, and they just can't agree on when to send this man money.
It's like Michigan, Ohio State. It's blood feud at this point.
It's wonderful. I think the morning audience has carried us many different times. I really hope they can carry us to a victory today. We are $185 behind. And
I like that he used to be. Now he can't even think of anything to say because he's not being negative. But he used to be like, "Hey, evening crew's gonna kick your ass, guy. Oh man, I can't wait to hear what they have to say in the evening." And now he's like, "Hey gang, I think you're all pretty terrific. I think you're all swell. Doesn't matter. Morning crew carries us sometimes. The evening crew carries us sometimes. I know two things. I don't sound ridiculous, and I don't care about the goal." And those two things are both definitely true. I'm not wearing the opposite on my sleeve and just exposing myself. I definitely believe everything I'm saying.
We're in the more flies with honey, Aaron version.
Yes. But well, here's the problem. That's true. That's a general rule that I try to live by. Like, that is true. But when it's so fake, it's hard to ignore.
And there's thousands of hours of you saying the exact opposite just a few videos ago.
I would say more flies with honey would be him not mentioning the goal at all. And hopefully people donate. Maybe finding some advertisers or setting up a Patreon or finding a way to subsidize missing the goal.
Well, wasn't he going to read live Rumble reads for like 30 cents each? I mean, what happened to that?
Yeah, I think he realized exactly that. I think he realized they were 30 cents each.
That you had to pay. You still got to pay Rumble. It's great.
Yeah. Oh, look at this. Interesting.
What do we got, Aaron?
Victor sent us all the drops we needed. Thank you, Victor.
Nice.
I appreciate that. We'll get those in. Maybe we'll get those in during overtime. If not, if we're still 185 away and we don't have overtime today, I'll just get those in.
Oh, but come on, Aaron. I want to hear those Victor drops. Don't tell me we're not going to get to overtime. I need to hear what Victor is sending you. Come on, buddy.
Normally would have been overtime. But I will say this. I really do want to do an extra 30 for you guys. We've got a bunch of stories coming up, including how
My
Taylor
hands are
Swift
tied.
solved homelessness.
All right, we're at the goal. It's goal time.
I want to do this extra 30 minutes so badly, but corporate isn't going to allow me. Well, you guys don't understand. It's a whole thing. Like, if Aaron does 30 minutes, then everyone has to get paid more. And so it's the corporate structure doesn't really allow for him to go extra unless he hits the goal. So it's not even him. It's kind of it's way above him. It's Steel Toe Inc.
You know how you fake sometimes a corporation to be a corporation? Like, oh, yeah, we have meetings. It's just me and my cat. This guy does it on air. He does his fake corporation on air for everyone to hear.
I'm in a meeting right now.
Yeah, I'm with the CEO. Hold on. Hi, CEO. Hi, Aaron. How are you? All right, goal. We're at goal time.
Let's go, baby.
Looks like we got about 7 minutes left to rally up and see if we can knock it out today. I appreciate you guys. You guys are fantastic.
Oh,
I love you. I
Which is
think
the
you're
best.
great. I
do. I feel positive about myself. I'm a little poorer, but I do feel good about myself.
We're all just so cool.
really hope that you can knock out this 185. I hope right now you're all clicking on PayPal, Streamlabs, Venmo. I hope you're thinking of throwing in some super chats.
Yep, we are. Could you imagine sitting there for 4 hours? The goal hasn't changed. Is it still 185? Did he say that?
I think it's 180 now. We've
oh, good.
Yes.
So could you imagine 180 then? You're there, you're sitting there for 2 hours. The goal's not changing. And then to suggest, it's actually offensive to me, to say, I hope right now you're all clicking on PayPal and Venmo and Streamlabs and Rumble. Why would we now? We haven't for the last 2 hours. Why do you assume we're all doing it at the same moment?
I actually sit with mine open the whole show and just wait for him to say it. I'm looking at them, make sure nothing
All
changes.
right. He's not ready for a donation yet. I haven't heard him talk about it in 6 minutes.
I'm just hovering with my mouse over donate, just waiting for the word.
Rants, because right now we are 185 away from today.
No, you were wrong, Casey. 185 still.
I swear he said 180.
That has not budged.
And we are a long ways away from overtime. We're missing by a lot today. I I guess we could just call this one, chalk this one up an L and see if you guys want to knock it out later in the week. But look, man, thank you.
Yeah, you know what, Aaron? If this stuff's been tight. Could I knock the goal out on Thursday instead, if you wouldn't mind? That'd be so much more convenient for me.
I hope he sticks to this thing, and at some point it starts adding up. Where he's like, "All right, night crew, we're $32,000 in the hole. Like how?
You really gotta step in because the morning crew is fucking us.
Gotta be honest, you've been both fucking us over these last few weeks, so we're gonna bring in a midday crew."
Well, I heard This Little Piggy boys talking about this, and it's all like the goal. There are no expenses for the show other than now Johnny Crutches. Matt left, the nighttime producer, nighttime Johnny Crutches, I call him. He's gone. He doesn't exist. So he has to pay Johnny. I don't know what he pays Johnny. I heard. I don't know if this is true. I thought I heard Patrick say like $75 a show or something. So he pays Johnny $75 a show, and then other than that, Aaron takes home like $100,000 a year. That's a great living. But I would say, like, if you have expenses, if Matt is a valuable part of your show and you're making $100,000, whatever, like, we don't need to hit the $350 every day. You can make a few less dollars, right? Like, it seems like you can kind of afford to pay them. Like, I don't make enough money to have like salaried employees. If Craig says, like, Casey turns down money from me for some reason. But if Craig ever says, like, hey, I can't do this anymore unless you pay me this, we would have that conversation. Like, it's not that difficult. It's not an expense that the show has. It's something you have to figure out. It's not one day you have to make $350 and the next day you can afford to make a little less. Like, people will donate.
All right,
contributions today. I would there we go. There's Missy Italiana says Baldo washers be washing. Thank you very much for the $30.99.
Oh my God!
Shit!
Aaron was right. 185 does turn into 155.
Exactly. Someone listen to him exactly.
Thank you so much for that one. We're gonna call that 25.
Why?
We're 160 away.
Why?
You guys,
why are you calling it 25?
Some Aaron math.
Can do it. We've got 2.5 minutes left to get that 160 knocked out. Follow Missy. Do what Missy just did. We get a few more of those. Hell, I might be sticking around for overtime. You got $30.99, throw in $30.99 just like old Missy did. Not old Missy. Wonderful Missy. Still 160 away.
The greatest chatter ever. I forgot I'm being positive. I meant terrific Missy.
Old dumb Missy. I mean, nice, awesome Missy.
Hey, still have a long ways to go. Didn't do much of a rally so far. I hope we do. I hope you guys consider it.
Yeah.
2-minute warning.
Well, really, at the end of the day, what's the difference, you know?
And we got 2 minutes left. And again, $160 away from today. What are you going to do? Numero uno,
nothing
Josh.
You can do, man. Don't change the way mustard tastes, you know?
Any fan. So continue on, guys. Let's see if we can put up a little bit of a fight here in the last minute and a half of Steel Toe today. $160 away. Again, all of the links are in the chat. Oh boy, there's 10 coming in from Vance. Says Google who paid for Johnny Crutches. Google who paid for Johnny. I don't know what that means.
All right, so 160 turns into 153.
Just like that.
5 away from today. If we get $100
coming in, what?
He's rounding.
That guy got $10.
Yeah. He doesn't keep track of the math really well, which makes the whole thing sort of invalid.
In what world would that count? Would 10? Does fucking YouTube take 50% now that I'm not aware of?
No, 30%. Apple takes 40%.
Oh yeah.
Fucking Apple.
Apple's fucking us, by the way, because I guess they're making Patreon to do that too.
Oh really?
Yeah, they threatened to take Patreon off the whatever you
App
call
Store?
it, the App Store. Yeah. And so Patreon has to abide by that too. Not for current members. Like I guess they said it doesn't affect anyone that's already a member, but like future people, it fucks them. or fucks us, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, one way to look at it is we try to build a server platform up where we could do this ourselves with millions of dollars.
Right, yeah. That's how they get
That
away
means
with it.
Yeah, they use that.
I'm going to do over.
But at the end of the day, guys, I'm not going to charge you anymore because of that.
The $100 come in the next minute. But right now, we are 155 away from knocking this out today. It is looking like it's going to be a loss for the old toe today. A rare L for the toe. Hopefully, we can recover.
Rare. This happens. Aaron, how many times have I done this
Google
segment?
paid for-
I've only been watching it for 6 months. How many times have I alone done this exact segment? How is it rare?
Johnny's crutches?
Yeah, that's what they're saying. All right, 45 seconds to go, guys. Streamlabs, PayPal,
shit, that
Venmo,
snuck up on
Super
us.
Chats. Oh, boy. This is a rough start to the week, but that's okay.
Yeah.
Sometimes you have it, sometimes you don't. Sometimes you get it all back, sometimes you lose it all. Good show today, guys. Hit
Lose it
subscribe.
all.
Hit
What?
Aaron just did a 4-hour show and referred to it as losing it all, and yet he's got a positive attitude. That's enlightening. Frankly, it's inspirational.
Maybe he meant like the Eminem, like lose it all in the moment you own it.
Oh, maybe.
like
Very possible.
I appreciate it. People thought that if I lost goals, like, oh, positive Aaron's going to go away. No, I understand what it means.
Hell no, brother. Positive Aaron's here to stay.
I got this ruse going forever. I'm not going to stop this.
Stay, go, whatever. I'm in the wind, man.
You hope that it doesn't become a streak, but it is what it is. I can't like the tides. I can't control them. It is what it is. Maybe I put my mouth on trouble and I spoke too soon when I said we were back in the black, because who knows after tonight.
Hold on.
Real media player.
I think that was something a real media player added, yeah.
Yeah.
Otherwise, that would have been a psychotic edition. But, so Aaron said we were in the black, which, if you're not too well versed in finance, that means they've gone into the net positive with ferocity. Aaron is charged into profits. And then one day, he misses the goal, and he's like, oops, now we're in crippling debt again. Now the business is in bankruptcy because we've missed a day of the goal. Aaron, I don't think that's what the black is. I don't think you're in the black if losing $150 puts you in fucking poverty. I don't know if that counts quite the same, but
It doesn't have the bite without the negative thing. The positive thing, it's just not as entertaining.
I
It's not
enjoy.
true Aaron.
I got to be honest. I enjoy watching it. Maybe, I'm sure the masses don't. They probably prefer anxious Aaron, who's ready to snap at any moment.
Yes.
But I kind of enjoy this. Like, hey man, don't change my life one bit. I still got to pay my taxes and pick my kids up in the morning. That's just I just got to be an American at the end of the day. I don't know whether I'm coming or going. I still take shits. It doesn't change my life one bit.
All right,
I like that guy.
You are known as the Dabbleverse psychic prognosticator. Give me a date when Nice Aaron ends. When is that going to end? Well, because it can't go forever. Is it going to go through Christmas? Are we going to get this through spring?
Oh, no. Thanksgiving, I'm feeling. Something will happen. I'll tell you why. Thanksgiving, you might have to take a day or two off, to be with the family. That's when things are going to start to get grim, I think. He might hear, his family might get in his ear about certain things. I'm guessing Thanksgiving, maybe the Monday after Thanksgiving or something, is when we start to see tensions rise a little bit. Now, I think there are people more well-versed in steel toe that might be able to give us a better date, probably more towards when the next court appearance is or something like that. But that's what I'm going to say for now. Thanksgiving is what I'll set the
We're locking him into Thanksgiving, people. And he is the prognosticator of prognosticators. Correctly prognosticated John selling his house to the
I've never been wrong about anything, actually, when it comes to the Dabbleverse.
Never. All right, we got a few super chats, then we'll get out here for some Octobox, some football.
Yes.
You ready, DJ Electra?
Sure. Chris Primer, $2. Let's
All right.
Oh, thank you.
start. Another one from Chris Primer for $2.
Oh,
These are all $2 individuals.
All right, let's start. Oh, where's he going with this?
Raleigh.
Oh my God, Chris, you son of a bitch! Guys, wouldn't it be so fun if everyone in the chat right now did exactly what Chris did and gave $2 per word? Wouldn't that be so fun?
No, we have an Octobox to go watch. No.
By the way, before we get too ahead of ourselves here, I will remind people. Sorry to David Collins, even though I don't know if he was up to some hijinks on his end, but I apologize to David Collins and do watch his show because I've watched their test shows. It's not that bad. I don't know if it's on our end or what's going on.
It's not that bad.
The internet. I'm saying no. Hold on. Let me rephrase. I meant the internet is not that bad. The show is terrific. The internet, his connection is not that bad. But David Collins will be debuting on this channel, I hope, Wednesday morning, 7:30 a.m. Eastern. He'll be live. He's taking phone calls. So check out David Collins Wednesday morning.
We should prank call him.
Yeah, we
Just
definitely
kidding.
will do
No,
that.
make him serious, guys. Make him nice calls.
Yeah, make him nice calls. Oh, what internet are you watching? But also to make me think that it is a little bit of a thing that David's running on us. He sent us an apology video.
He did.
So I have a 30-second apology video. And then after these super chats we can watch. Real
Okay,
quick.
all right. After the super chats.
Yeah, just a few more here. Go ahead.
Dawn Fried Chicken for $4.99. Can confirm Patrick Ford's super chat. Craig babysits my daughter every week.
Oh, that's absolutely true. I'm not questioning the validity of Patrick Ford's super chat. It was all accurate what he was saying. My point is more the idea that he just did it into the abyss is what's funny to me.
Yes. Love you, Kriegers.
And Dildo Swaggins, $9.99. Great seeing Electra on again. Kinda getting sick of the tubby Down syndrome baby. Mike.
Me?
What?
How dare you?
Wait, what?
Dildo, you need to find a kind phase like Aaron did.
And the
it's always nice to have Electra here, I say.
The bad bag, $1.99. Michael makes me happy.
Thank you, buddy.
See.
And the last super chat of the day.
And I come buckets. Is that better, Mike? $5.
It is, yes. It was adorable the way you said it the other time. But.
Tim Dillon does fake business. Steel Toe does fake corporation. April did fake orgasms.
Tim Dillon does fake business? I don't know if I get that.
I don't get that one either. I'm getting more into Tim Dillon as time goes by.
Oh,
but now let's.
It was more about the fake orgasms.
I got it, yeah.
I didn't pre-watch this, so I'll just say that. I don't know what this.
I trust David. I trust
Okay,
David.
okay.
We'll see what this is.
Okay, here we go.
Hey there, I'm David Collins, host of David Collins' 30-minute half-hour show, and I owe you and the Blind Mike Project audience an apology. We're not really sure what's going on there. It must have been that streaming website we were using because we're not used to these issues at all. Our internet is working great, but you can catch us 7:30 a.m. Eastern every Wednesday, drive time, David Collins, on the Blind Mike Project channel. Again, I apologize for the issue.
Well, that's
Drive
perfect.
free, drive hard.
This Matt is always getting in the way.
Yes.
So I
thank you,
helped
Dave.
them come up with that that tagline. Is that what it's called? When you say that every time you leave your show?
Drive free, drive hard.
Drive free, drive hard. Yeah.
What the hell is that?
I don't know.
That's what they're gonna say at the end of every show.
Well,
I told him.
Focus on being eye candy, Electra. I don't know if you're an idea gal.
Well, I didn't make that up, but I just told them they needed to come up with one.
Oh, okay, I got
We
you. All right,
brainstormed
that makes
a little bit, and they came up with that.
All right.
That's right.
Well, yeah, support David Collins on Monday. I appreciate the apology, but not necessary. We'll blame Evie Mux. The
Yes.
CEO is watching, apparently. So
He is.
we'll blame
I
him.
got some things to talk about with him.
And check out j37shop.com. Use my name, Blind Mike, at checkout, all one word, for 10% off. We appreciate their support as well. And what are you guys doing tonight? Unboxing Eric?
Yeah, we got Unboxing Eric. We're trying something directly after your show here, Mike. We're transferring the chat over to our room because we did it last week, and a lot of people still wanted to talk about the show and you and stuff like that. So we just kept an open chat room. So come to Addicted to Chats right after the show, where we'll just talk about Blind Mike and the football games and whatever else you want to talk about for like an hour. Yeah, it's just a chat room. Nothing
Check that out. Go over to HACKRIDE's channel. DJ Electra has a YouTube channel as well, where she talks about music stuff. I really enjoy her shorts that she's been doing. Oh, but also Electra's trying to get her watch hours up, right? Are you still trying to do that?
Yes, I am. It's going kind of slow.
She's put together a compilation of I talked about this lady, and I want to come back on to talk about her. I heard, by the way, I tuned in for a moment of
Uh-huh.
to a Catch-22.
Oh no!
And I hear you say that I invited myself on the show.
Oh, that was just banter.
I was being put. I said, "Hey, I'll come on to talk about Daisy sometime. You want to get your watch hours up? I'll pop on. I'll tweet it out. And then I hear, oh, Mike's begging to come on my show. I can't get rid of this guy. Make me seem like some creep.
No,
have to
come
make
on, you know you're
ourselves-
always invited, and it was just
Yes.
me making conversation.
But,
Listen, we have to brag to those 9 people in our chat room. It's important to us that we look good in front of those 9 people. We almost have a baseball team. You understand?
These guys talked about, they have their own lol cow. This woman, Daisy, who is a real mental patient. So
Yes.
Electra put together like a 10-hour video. I say, like, I fall asleep to stuff like that, like long videos like that of old radio shows. So I'll put that on and fall asleep to these guys covering Daisy to help Electra get her watch hours up. And it's
Aw,
pretty
thank
interesting.
you.
So check that out.
Crazy dreams, Mike. You're going to be having some crazy fucking dreams.
Good, excellent.
All right, well, thank you, Blind Mike. Have a wonderful day.
All right, anything else, guys?
That's it for me.
Let's get the hell out of here.
Blind Mike Geary!
I talk like this. It's silly. This is my punchline as a boy. I think it's really rad.
I have men showering me with money, and then the real men are out showering my wife with theater tickets.
Grooming is not technically illegal, right? Asking for a friend.